Welcome to My The Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to My The Asshole Podcast. You guys know what today is. It is Sunday. Let's go. Woo! Give it to him, Rick Ford. Give it to him, baby.
Yeah.
God damn. It is another Sunday. We got the Rick Ford in the studio. What's going on with you, pimp?
Yeah, glad to be back. Best part of the week is being here on the cast. I'm not gonna lie. God damn, I love to be here. So much shit just happens over the week where I'm like, all right, you know what? I got to get back in the cast.
Yeah, facts, dude. Facts. I know what you mean. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying actually the new branding. We actually added our boy into the branding now. He is in there for good, all right? You know, it's no longer just your boy. All right, he's going to be here every Sunday. You're going to have to deal with his ugly black mug every Sunday. No, I was but we got some videos. He and I were talking a little bit before the show started, and your boy went a little viral. Okay, your boy went a little viral, just a little bit. We're talking like 13K in 1 hour, kind of viral a little bit.
Nice.
I'm not gonna give any context.
Okay.
We're gonna get his thoughts and like ideas on it because for me, it makes sense.
Right.
For half of our viewers and people, it makes sense. But for the other half, they're just like, you're a horrible person. Why the fuck would you ever do that? Why would you even think about that? I hope nobody ever has to rely on you. So we're gonna watch it.
Okay.
Okay? We're gonna watch it and we're gonna see what's going on. Because I think I'm in the right, but they think I'm in the wrong. So let's see. I will let the Rig 4 be the tiebreaker, all right?
Okay.
And I want you to be 100% not biased. If you agree with the people who are like, bro, that you're a piece of shit, whatever, feel free. I want you to be 100% honest, not biased or anything.
Okay.
All right. Don't worry. I'll cry later. No. All right. Here we go. It is people who have found a dead body. What is your story? Driving home at 3 a.m. empty road, see a mangled motorcycle in the middle of the road, still smoking. Look around and spot the driver's body, very obviously not alive. Motorcyclist had gone off the road and hit a telephone pole. Called 911. Once the police arrived, they just told me to leave. Yeah, man. See, I may be a bad person for this, and you guys can call me out. That's fine. But I am such a mind my own business kind of person where I would see some shit like that, and I'd be like, that's crazy. Wow, shit, driving off. I wouldn't call. I wouldn't get out to see what happened. I just rubberneck my ass on through and keep going. Is that horrible? Maybe. I mean, it might be horrible. But I'm just saying, bro, like, I am such, and maybe people share that same sentiment where they're just like, I would just keep driving in my own business. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, think about it like this. If you're driving and it's the middle of the night, early morning, whatever case may be, nobody's out on the street, and you're driving and you see a car off to the side of the road and it's got its hazards on, are you stopping? Tell me, are you stopping? Because I'm not. Just like we said, how it's a thing where, life is extremely unexpected, how the guy literally fell in the toilet, accidentally, hit the flusher and got his gut sucked out of his booty hole and died. Like, I could literally pull over and be like, hey, do you need some help? Boom! You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, damn, Damn. You're just like dead. It's over with. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like I said, I don't know. I'm just not that type of person. I'm really not. Because think about it like this, bro. Say you see that motorcyclist, right? And you're just like, oh, shit, that's crazy. And you decide to pull over, right? You get about the car and you see a bear gnawing on this dude's dead body. And then the bear looks up at you and is like, you know what? You look delicious. I'm going to go after you instead of this dead body. Bruh. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, shit. Run. And then, you try to get in your car and the bear is fucking mauling your car and shit. And you're just like, I shouldn't have stopped. I'm sorry, bro, but that's just me. Today's thread is... All right. So after seeing that, what do you think?
So this brings up an interesting point that I was recently mulling over in my head, right? Inherently, I wouldn't say necessarily that you're a bad person, but I would say to anyone, right, that it says a lot about you depending on how you see the situation. Because by no means would anyone that sees a positive outcome from a situation stop themselves from doing it, right?
Okay.
And so that's where, I mean, it wrote itself in the clip. It's like, you were like, yeah, let's say we pulled over, saw a motorcyclist. I pulled over, saw a bear gnawing on him, and then the bear turns around and mauls me, right? There's people out there that will say, like, hey, I could be the difference between saving this guy's life and he gets to go home to his family, yada, 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 right? And so, like I'm saying, I don't inherently think it makes you a bad person, but I definitely think that there's a bit of mistrust within yourself, and this is for anyone, but a mistrust within yourself and for being able to actually handle a situation as it comes along, right? And I think this comes from the idea of me being a Marine, right? Where I myself, when I see something happening, I trust myself enough to walk into it and not get taken advantage of or fucked over or whatever the case may be, because I like to think of myself as a little bit more aware than the average person would think, and so the idea of like you pull over, you see someone with their hazards on, I'm not just going to get out and be like, let me just see what, that light's flashing, and then I get domed, you know what I mean? Like, I'd be just as cautious when I'm like, all right, it's not uncommon for this to be a trap, but at the same time, if it's a person that needs help, I want to be that person that's not, driving by and then I see on the news like, oh, guy was, stuck on the side of the road and saw multiple cars drive by. And so I don't know if I actually sent in this scenario, the video, but the case in point is the bystander effect, right? And there's plenty of different situations where it happens.
Yeah.
And one that comes to mind, I showed my wife, was this old lady. She was trying to do like aerobic aqua aerobics, right? Like, how it's supposed to be really good for the body, right? Especially when you're up there and older, it's like low impact. It's supposed to be really good for, you to still get exercise, but also not so terrible on your joints, right? Mm-hmm. And so this lady, she's at a public pool. She's, swimming along. It's something she's done, multiple times. And then just for this instance, she I guess overexerted herself and could not get herself out of the pool, right? And so as she's at the railing, right? She just couldn't bring herself out of the pool enough. If I had the video, I'd be able to show exactly what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But there's people walking as close as me and you are together right next to her as she's trying not to drown in this public pool. And so everyone's like, yep, minding my own business, fucking dumbass old bitch. And so she dies, right? She dies in the pool.
Okay.
Her body's floating around. And then eventually someone's like, I don't think she's just floating in the pool. So they jump in, bring her out
after the fact,
and it's been 20-30 minutes, she's dead.
Right.
And so that's the idea of like people like mind my own business, because they think interfering will result in a negative scenario. And so that just goes to show, and that is a prime example of defining certain scenarios as negative, where even if for some reason you did, and this is what I believe wholeheartedly, is even if something inherently negative comes from me with me intervening with good intentions, That's not my fault. I can't control whether something comes out negatively or positively.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
100%.
And it was the same thing with, like, not to get too political or whatever, but it was the same thing with the COVID vaccine. A lot of people are like, it's data tracking. They're just trying to control me, my body. And I was like, personally, if this, from my standpoint, saves lives or reduces the threat to the human race, and even if it's not that serious, I'm going to do it with that in mind because that's what I believe. If it kills me, that's not my fault. I was not the government or whoever the fuck that came up with the idea of, like, let's get rid of people with the vaccine. Mm-hmm. And so me having good intentions and getting killed doing that, a lot of people could see that as naive or stupid, whatever. But at the same time, you're going to be mad at me for having good intentions. And so that's the same thing with the bystander effect and the mind my own business, I feel like, effect of, like, you know, people will be like, I'm just going to mind my own business because they're, I would say, afraid of the idea of something negative could come from this and I won't like it. Where it's like, I would more so encourage you to look into yourself and see what kind of person you would rather be in the scenario. Where it's like, would I rather be the person that intervenes with good intentions because that's what I believe is true, and then if I get fucked over, I just know what to look for next time? Mm-hmm. Or would I rather be a person that stays to themselves and keeps self-preservation intact, but I also know that I could have helped, but I also let someone die because I'd rather look after myself, you know?
Yeah.
So 100%. Personally, I agree with the idea of, like, yeah, you could be considered a bad person, but there's more that goes into it than just black or white. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
for me,
there's nuance
it's not.
in everything.
Yeah,
sure.
For me, yeah. I wouldn't want to label anyone either way because it's like self-preservation is not inherently bad, and neither is intervening. So
yeah, because there's different situations. Like in the situation where that lady is drowning in broad daylight, it's like I wouldn't have the bystander effect in that point. Because at that point, I'm like, dude, this is broad daylight. Like, that lady is clearly fucking struggling. And something like that, I think, yeah, dude, that is a blatant, like, hell no. Like, I would go in there and help.
Nah, she could be like, let me fake drown. And then as soon as someone gets close, I'm going to drown them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another thing is, like, you know, I couldn't put that past an old lady.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'd jump in. However, more than likely, I probably would. It's just that, like, that would be in the back of my mind. Is like, yeah, she could be trying to drown me too.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Old ladies just aren't trustworthy because they're old.
Yeah. He's got the kill old people. I can show you guys. I can show you guys why. Hold on, we got a perfect video right here. This one right here illustrates exactly why this man absolutely cannot stand and absolutely hates old people.
Yeah, old people are just annoying,
you know?
dude.
Here we go. We'll show you guys the exact reason why.
You're gonna get arrested for stealing property. No, I'm not stealing. Let go. No. Let go.
Give me my rocks.
You are assaulting.
You have my property.
You're assaulting me.
No right, and you are assaulting me. You're gonna let go. No, I'm not. I'm not assaulting you. You can let go. Yes. You touch me. What are we doing wrong? Read the signs. They're all up. Okay, we didn't see that. We're gonna leave. Just give them the rocks. No, you saw them. You've been here. No, we have not.
Do you not see the, like, 6 other people, bitches?
She tried to pull the sign bullshit.
Give me my rocks.
You liar!
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's exactly what she's doing.
Alright, I'll just call the cops right now on you, and we're not gonna get in trouble because we've been here before. I'm not gonna touch you. We're touching your hand so we can get our rocks back. Yes, absolutely. No right to touch. Okay, but what are you touching right now? What are you touching right now? Whose are these? Whose are these? I don't know.
I don't know.
No.
Well, the fact that they're not yours.
Oh, she tried to bite him.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm calling the cops.
Yeah.
She tried to bite him. What the hell?
I don't know what it is about the old age, but they just, for some reason, get audacity in them, and they're like, "Well, I'm gonna stop them right now." You know,
over just fishing in a public pond, like,
yeah.
bruh.
And I
what are you
get it,
doing?
right? Like, they're probably not supposed to be fishing there, but it's like, why is it that this is the hill you decide to die on? And I know why it is. It's because she's probably retired and got nothing better to do. Not shit, but her grandkids don't come visit her. Her kids probably don't fucking talk to her, you know what I mean? And so she's got nothing better to do but enforce bullshit-ass rules that no one gives a fuck about. And so it just writes itself, you know what I mean? Where it's like, this is what I'm talking about. You probably go to save that old lady, and she's like, you know what? I'm going to drown them too.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sadly facts, because it's just like, it goes into his point. Like, we showed you that video to go into his point that, like, there are old ladies like that that will sit there and be like, I'm going to fake drown, so that way when someone saves me, I'm going to pull them into the pool and I'm going to drown them. You know, that's the reason why I showed that video, because it illustrates the point that he's trying to make. I'm not going to push back on anything that he said, as far as just like, you know, what you said to the video and stuff like that, because my thing is I said what I said. You feel the way that you feel. And, you know, would you say that you agree with those people that are like, I guess, I don't want to say that are calling me a bad person, but that are just against what it is that I say, the whole bystander effect, as far as, you know, I rather mind my own business kind of thing. Would you agree with that more? Like, even if it's a 51-49 kind of thing, like, would you agree more with those people, or would you agree more with the whole self-preservation of like, you know what, it is what it is? Yeah, in your opinion.
Yeah, in my opinion, I would say it's more. I would say, let me just get it straight, because what I'm saying is I would be more likely to help in that scenario.
Okay.
And so inherently, yeah, I think you'd probably be more considered a bad person from my eyes.
Okay.
Due to the fact that it's like, being selfish is not necessarily the most conducive for communal preservation, right?
Okay.
So like, yeah.
All right. Hey, you know, I wanted to get your take and somebody else outside's take, because, you know, it was a very flip-floppy thing. I'm not going to fight against it. I'm not going to try to justify and all that kind of stuff. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. There are people that agree and there are people that don't. You know, I look at it like, hey, that is how I deal with the situation. I know that I'm not alone in that, but I also want it to be a thing where, you know, it's also the other side is heard too.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want those people to feel like they're just, you know, I'm just shutting them out because I don't agree with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I even said in the clip, like, if you want to call me a bad person, that's fine. Like, that's okay, because I understand morally how that looks.
Right.
You know what I mean? I do understand the morality look of it. And my thing is I rather protect my own self versus, you know, being morally correct. That's just the way I see things. And so, you know, it is what it is. Again, I wanted them to have some representation. I wanted to get an outside perspective, just so that way.
It brings back to that clip of like the dude that caught that lady falling down the stairs, and then she got sued.
Exactly,
he got sued.
Exactly.
And then, you know, you were like, I just, from then on, let every fucking lady die in front of me. I'm like, that I could understand. You know what I mean? Because it's like, why would I save you and then get sued? You know? So
yeah, she wanted something like $250,000. Yeah. All right. This video absolutely annoyed me. Not because of her, okay? Because for me, she's just being a woman,
right?
Okay, she's just being a woman. I'm not going to be mad at her for being a woman. I am mad at the men. Oh my God. I will show you the video. We'll get your thoughts on it, all right?
I'm just out here seeing what I can get men to do, and honestly, there's not much that they won't do, because I got a man dropped a pool stick, and I said, hey, that's $5 for dropping the pool stick on the ground. He said, are you serious? And I said, I'm dead serious. And he got me $5. And then I said, I want some tacos. Is there a taco truck out? And the man said yes, and I said, will you go get me some tacos? And he went and got me tacos. And then I went to the pizza store, and I was in line for pizza, just for moral support, really. I didn't need the pizza because I just got the tacos. And this man in front of me was wearing a diamond necklace, and I was like, God, that would look so good on me. You should take it off and see. I think we both want to know what that would look like on me. And he did in fact take the diamond necklace off, and he put it on me, and it was gorgeous. It was so pretty. And then he said, whatever she's getting too. And since he said that, I was like, well, I might as well get some pizzas while I'm at it. And all night I've just been seeing what I can get men to do. And you know what's crazy is there's not a lot that they won't do.
Because they have no fucking self-respect, bro.
Yeah.
No fucking self. Like, this pisses me off to no degree. Men wonder why most women don't respect most men. Men wonder why women have the audacity. Men wonder why majority of men are unattractive to a majority of the majority of men are unattractive to a majority of women. Like, men sit here and they wonder why these things happen, but they steady go and do dumb shit like this. Again, I'm not mad at her because she's just taking advantage of the situation. Is what it is. Like, she's going to be a woman. Whatever. Do what you're going to do. I'm mad at the men because they're not having self-respect for themselves and actually being like, no, what the fuck? Why would I give you $5? Bitch, pick up my fucking stick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I'm oh my God. Give your take.
No, I mean, it makes perfect sense, you know. She's just doing exactly, and it's interesting in the idea that the frequency that you give off kind of attracts similar or like-minded, or it has like it attracts what it attracts, essentially, right?
Yeah,
and so her idea of like men are easy and stupid attracted those exact men, and then those exact men like made that self-perpetuating idea in her head just get reinforced, and then so from there it's like, you know, there's the idea brings me back to the idea of like, someone said it the other day on the internet where it's like, you know, they say men are abusive and something like that, and what I'm trying to figure out is why do they always got a girlfriend to beat on or abuse, you know? And it's
Facts.
like,
I remember we talked about that.
Yeah, and then it's funny because it's exactly like that. She like the dude is like, yeah, you know, it's just so easy with women because you just beat them, and then the women that get beat and fall in line get attracted to those dudes.
Yeah,
and it's like, why is it like, you know, you shouldn't really be surprised that shit like this happens, because you just it should be a reality for the people out there where it's like, if you just believe whatever the fuck you want to believe, which a lot of people end up doing, and this is why we have those fucking 8,000 genders and shit like that,
yeah,
you know, and
all
it's
that
like,
fucking retarded shit.
yeah, whatever that shit's about. But you know, you start to attract the people that feed into that, and then it's just like, dude, what else can you do? You know, you can't argue because you tell her like, no, that's not true, and then she walks down the street and has 4 or 5 dudes lined up to do just that. That'll be $5, and he's like, okay, I guess. Yeah, let me put that diamond necklace on me. Okay, well, I guess. And then get her some pizza too. And then it's like, where are these men that fucking like, you know what? She literally thought to herself in her mind, there's no like rule, right? Like, unless there's a rule that I'm feeling, right? Like, if a woman asks you for some shit, you just give it to her.
Like, no.
Like,
and, no. Yeah, what have you done?
In her mind, she was like, I'm just gonna ask and get it, dude. It's easy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because dudes are stupid enough and willing to give it to her. And I'm like, bro, because this is my thing, okay? This is my, like, my point, and my, you know, hill I'm willing to die on is men don't want to put their foot down to women anymore. They don't. They are so afraid to put their foot down to women and say no. It is crazy to me. You guys will sit there and simp and bitch and whine and complain and wonder why women are the way that they are. I'm like, bro, women are the way that they are because men allow that. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like, nigga, we live in a patriarchy, not a matriarchy. But for some reason, guys have allowed this, you know, weird-ass gynocentric, you know, patriarchy. And it's just like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Be a fucking man. It's why a lot of girls will sit there and they will say, and women too. I know women like, oh, those are girls, not women. Girls and women alike. They always sit there and they say men are sassy.
Yeah.
And you want to know why they say women are sassy? Because you guys are acting like bitches.
Yeah.
Because you're not acting like men, dude. You're not acting like fucking men, and it pisses me off. That's why it's like this video that I showed you guys is not to bash on women, it's to bash on the men, because the reason she's acting like this is because men are allowing it to happen. If all those guys told her no, then she would have just been like, oh yeah, I can't do this. Like, oh, okay, that's not true. Whoever told her this, whatever, put this in her idea or put this idea in her head, she'd be like, that's not true. Nope. But now, like you said, because they gave it to him, she's like, oh yeah, I can do whatever the fuck I want to do.
And it's funny that some men out there will be like, no, like, you guys just don't get it. Like, that's not how things work, yada, yada. It literally is how it works. Because you know what she's going to do now? Any man that tells her no, she's like, fuck it. If he won't, someone will.
Exactly.
And so she just has the delusional belief now that will be a self-fulfilling prophecy that she can just go anywhere and find someone that will, because it's true. And you men will be out there like, oh, I'll never find a girl. Like, girls only want one thing, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, no, you're fucking up your own blessings, stupid. Be delusional like this, and you can have whatever the fuck you want to have. It's simple. It's so simple. Oh, I can't get that job. I can't get promoted. Just be so stupidly delusional that it just fulfills itself.
Yeah.
Do whatever the fuck this bitch thought is necessary in her mind to go do it. And she goes out in public and meets strangers she'll never see again and was like, yes, give me your money.
Pretty much.
And then they're like, yeah, I'm never seeing this bitch again. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And you're afraid to go out and do whatever the fuck you've been planning for weeks, months, days at a time now.
Yeah.
You can't do what the fuck your non-delusional ass thinks you could do. You know what I mean? So it's like, that shit pisses me off. You know what I mean? Like, I find I have conversations every day about, like, I hear people say, like, I can't, it doesn't work that way, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, bull fucking shit. Who says who?
You facts.
Who decided that? And it's like, yeah, that's why for me, like, my life has never been on a better upswing than fucking it is now. And not tooting my own horn, but it's like, it's just one of those things where
No. Fucking toot that fucking horn, bro. Toot that goddamn horn.
It's just the reality of reality. You believe delusionally whatever the fuck you want to believe, and you will just find that come to you. And, like, the reason people are like, oh, no, it's not true, it won't happen, is because you don't believe hard enough.
Yeah.
You won't put into action. Like, if you knew it would work out 100% guaranteed, what the fuck would you do?
That is so true.
What the fuck would you get away with?
Yeah.
What would you go and achieve? If you knew 100% is guaranteed, what the fuck would you go do?
Yeah, because there's a lot of people, and I've noticed, especially being in the social media space, now that I've been in the social media space for a while, and I've kind of, I don't get me wrong, I ain't a part of like any big knit groups or nothing, but what I've noticed amongst other creators and other people in general, they sit there and they always ask me, like, how do you always how do you continue to be consistent with content? How do you continue to do content and all this kind of stuff? Because a lot of people sit there and they keep telling themselves, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's not working. And I'm just like, no, you believe you can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't. Nobody's telling you can't do it. You're telling you can't do it. Yeah. Me, I'm consistent every single fucking week. Yeah. I have been consistent for the last 3 years. And the reason I have is because I say that I can.
Yep.
I get up and I say, no, I can be consistent. I can do this. I can put myself in this position. Like, who the fuck is anybody to say that you can't?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? And I love that, because I ain't gonna lie to you, I love having haters. I'll tell you that right now. I love when people get in my comments and they want to hate on me, because you know why? Because hate comes from the bottom.
Yes.
No one is ever looking down and hating on somebody. Yep. You are always looking up when you're hating on somebody. Yes. So the fact that you want to be a hater goes to show I'm above you. Yep. And it's like, bro, I don't know why people sit there and they're so afraid to be hated online. They're so afraid of their truthful opinions being out there. No. I'm going to be 100%, because when motherfuckers want to sit there and they want to try to call me out, I'll be like, oh, sorry. Everybody already knows that. Yeah, there's been 5-6 episodes of me saying that exact thing. You don't have a gotcha moment at all. Okay, perfect example. There was a guy, when we did the reaction of that video where homie got his girl stolen at the club. Okay, and I said, you need to be the type of man that get your money up. You need to get in the gym. You need to be a fit and all around guy. There was some weirdo in my fucking comments talking about, no, don't listen to this guy. You need to have a high IQ so you don't date a girl like that. Then get your fitness and money. And I'm like, wait. I literally sat there and was just like, why the fuck are you sitting there acting like you got a gotcha moment when all you did was add to my point?
Yeah, exactly.
You added to my point. Sure, I agree with that. Yes, have a higher IQ when you're dealing with women. 1,000%. I'm not saying that that's wrong. But you're over here saying like, no, don't listen to this guy. Don't listen to... You should have this and what he says. Fucking retard, bro. Fucking retard. And this dude, I'm like, you're nobody. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. You're making my point. Like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, this is why I give advice and you don't.
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
A motherfucker without a YouTube channel and all the success that you have trying to tell you what to do.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's like,
funny.
and that's why I say, Rig 4, toot your fucking horn.
Yeah.
Because it lets the haters know, like, bro, you are below me. You're looking up, hating at me. Get the fuck out. And this advice doesn't just, like, I'm not saying this just for me or just for him. You too. People that are hating on you in your job. People that are hating on you in your social life. People are hating on you on your social media. Bro, put your chest out and your chin up.
Yeah.
They're below you. They're looking up at you, hating. If anything, it's like, yeah, bitch, hate me.
Yeah.
Hate me. Why? Because you're a fan. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's what I'm saying. Hey, but that's why I go to say that because, you know, humbleness is important, 1,000%. But there are times when people need to be humbled.
Right.
You know, because they don't have that themselves. And I look at it like when you've accomplished things and you have done things that impact the world and other people around you, it is more humble for you to call them out than it is to just sit there and not saying something. Because some people need to be called the fuck out. Some people need to be called retards. Some people need to be need to sit there and they need to reflect on what the fuck they're saying because they think they're getting this gotcha moment. They think they're saying something. They're thinking that they're pulling you down. Nah, bro, you're just making me look better.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here, man. But yeah.
Solid point for sure.
All right. We're going to get into this next video, though. This video, I think people just didn't get what she was saying. But I want to get your thought on this. All right. Here we go.
So you know the saying, like, nice guys finish last. I've always heard that. It's the same with females. Like, the good girls finish last. We're not the ones men pick. Because we don't care about what you got in your pants or your pocket. Like, we want you for you. Like, you want the girls that'll spin around and jump up and down on you and steal all your money, but you don't want a good girl that's going to help you grow. Thanks.
All right, what do you think on that one? I'll give you some time to think. I'll give you mine.
Yeah.
I do think nice girls finish last. And you want to know why? Nice girls finish last because of their fucking friends. All right? Their friends. This woman right here, I truly believe that she is a good woman. I believe that she's the type of woman that will love you for you and be there for you and support you and all that kind of stuff. She looks at it like, if my man can't, pick up this bill or whatever, I got you, baby. Don't worry about it. If we're in a struggling time, don't worry. I'll work a little extra and we're going to get together and we're going to work this out. Like, I truly believe that she is that type of woman. But this is the caveat. And this is why nice girls finish last. Their friends will sit there and be like, girl, you're sitting there paying a bill for him? Oh, I would never. Girl, you're doing that for your man? Why? He shouldn't be doing that. Oh, why the hell would you even think to do that? He should be doing this. He should be doing that. And then it gets in her head and she's just like, oh my God, like, Is what I'm doing wrong? Is like they're literally shaming her out of being a good woman for her man. And so then she gets all these convoluted and shitty fucking thoughts about her own guy that she loves, respects, and admires. She gets all that muddied up by her shitty ass single friends. And then what does she do? She goes and breaks up with that guy. She gets with a guy that they deem is good, and that guy is beating her, harassing her, shitty to her, and she's just thinking to herself, like, what the fuck? Like, no, like, I'm such a great girl. Why is he treating me like shit? Like, you guys said that this guy was good for me. What the hell? I think that's why good girls finish last.
It's interesting. Yeah. And so there's also the idea that I was thinking of as well with the idea of frequencies and whatnot. They always do say opposites attract. And so I think, to your point, the idea of, it could be a couple things, but the idea of nice girls do end up with shitty dudes. And so it just ends up being like a self-fulfilling prophecy of, like, she's like, oh, you guys don't want nice girls, like the girls that'll support you, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, well, this is still the same self-fulfilling prophecy of, like, I will date dudes that suck and that don't want me or pursue them, and then that's all I see, so that's all I know, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, like I say, you know. And so it's, for me, you know, she's very upset of, like, oh yeah, you know, they always say nice guys finish last. I mean, the reason nice guys finish last is because they're not really nice, and then they go after women that also don't like nice guys, and then it just becomes a back and forth of self-fulfilling prophecy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you're really looking, what it is she's looking at dating wrong, and then from there, that's what's really causing this confirmation bias. Because at the end of the day, like, your subconscious is not going to look for the best possible option. It's going to look for the option that confirms what the fuck it thinks, what it feels, you know? And so I think that's just where she's coming from, you know what I mean? I know that's not necessarily like a hot take or whatever the case may be, but the idea is still there of, like, she's going to look for what's familiar, and then from there, that's what becomes, like, confirmed in her bias, you know?
Yeah. I get that, because I 100% get the whole fact that, like, guys will play the nice guy role and then they'll be shitty.
Yeah.
But I do think that they're, like you said, you know, you attract kind of what it is that you put out there.
Right.
And I think a lot of girls that truly believe and they truly act in the nature of, I don't care about a man's money. I don't care about, you know, how he looks necessarily. Like, I'm attracted to him because, you know, he and I are comfortable with each other. I know him, I love him, and I care about him, and this and that. He's just always been good to me. I'm going to get into a relationship with him, and they do. I think it's more of the social proof aspect of it, because I'm talking about, and I think she's talking about the same thing, is that when they're in the relationship, this is not like before they get in the relationship or while they're looking for a guy. I think this is while they're in the relationship. I think it's a thing where a lot of women will get talked out of being with a really good guy, not because they don't see the goodness in the guy, but because the social proof of their friends makes it seem like, am I in the wrong relationship? And they get talked out of it, they get influenced out of it, and then this good girl loses a really good dude because then her friends are just like, no, see, this is the guy you should be with. This is the type of guy that you want. So then it goes to your point where, you know, because her friends are kind of comfortable with that, she then thinks, okay, maybe I'm comfortable with that. Yeah. Maybe that's something that I am comfortable about with, and I didn't even know that I was. So let me date this guy, and then the guy will play the nice guy, you know, to your point of where the guy will play the nice guy. He'll be like, oh yeah, no, I love you, flowers, this, that. He'll do the love bombing, if you will. And then he's a piece of shit. Yeah. And then she's sitting there like, what the fuck, man? Like, what happened? Like, I thought this was great. Like, nice girls always finish last, you know? Yeah. And I think that's where her mindset comes from. But I think she's missing the point where it's like a lot of good girls will have their friends influence them out of great relationships through that social proof and make them think that way. Yeah. And then they're lost and they're like, well, what do I think? Because I was with this great guy, but my friends don't like him. So then, you know, they made me realize that I like this guy, but then it didn't work out with this guy because he was a nice guy. He loved bombed me. And then, so what the fuck do I think? And they're just in this fucking loop and spiral of like, I don't know, man.
And that's where I agree is the idea of women, for some reason, when they see something happen to their friend that's good, they will try to fuck it up with all their being.
Oh,
they will see like, damn, she's got a good man and I don't. Yeah, can't have that shit. And you see it time and time again in these videos where a dude approaches, they're like, yeah, fuck out the way, you're pretty. And then they're like, she's getting approached, but I haven't gotten approached all night. Yeah, she doesn't want to talk to you, bud. Yeah, and then they become insufferable, scaring away the hoes, if you will. And from there, like, you can see it on the friend's face where she's like, no, like, yeah, my name's fucking Jessica, you know, like, my Instagram, yada, yada, thank you, whatever. But, like, their first instinct is like, I just need to scare this dude away, so that way nothing good happens to her, because it's not happening to me, and I need to fuck that up. And it's like, I don't know what it is. And to your point, where it's like, they will see like, damn, she's in a good relationship, can't have that. I cannot allow that. I'm not in a good relationship, can't have that. And it'll be the same thing where even if all of her friends are in great relationships, if they see one dude is treating their friend a little bit more, they're like, yeah, you know what? I got to fuck that up too. Yeah. I got to fuck that up. I can't. We're all in pretty good standings, but she's getting a little bit ahead. I can't have that. Let's fuck it up.
Yeah.
And that's I think that's the problem, is like a lot of women really pay too much attention to the social proof of their friends when their friends instinctually just can't help the idea of like, if it's better than what I have, I need to fuck it up. And men will do it too, but it's not very likely. You know what I mean? I'll be honest. It's not very likely that a homie, well, actually that's cap. What I'll say is it is likely if you're in the wrong friend group. If you have friends that hate when you succeed, it'll happen to you as well.
100%.
However, I do know biologically it's in females to, if they're seeing like a relationship that's more beneficial to them, it is in their biology to fuck that up so they could be more attractive or a better contender in that race. You know what I mean? In that ideology.
Yeah. And where they're, because I can already see the comments, how is that in their biology? Well, dude, it's called being hypergamous.
Yeah.
Like, women are going to strive for the biggest and the best, and when they see that another woman is striving, women know in the back of their hindbrains that they are competing for the biggest and the best men. And when their friend gets that quote-unquote best man, they will be like, why does she have such a great guy and I don't? What does she have that I don't? That is the competitive nature that we as humans have. It's guys too. Guys are not going to sit there and sabotage, oh, he's got a hot bitch, what the fuck? No, I'm going to be like, nigga, she got friends. You know, like guys don't necessarily not. I wouldn't say it's a bit 50-50 when it comes to guys, because you know, guys do, we see it all the time on the show where they're like, oh, my girlfriend cheated on me with my best friend. You know what I mean? So it's like, it does happen, but again, that's just that competitive nature, and I think it's on both sides of men and women. It's like, we see that men aren't as like hypergamous because we look at it like, nah, man, you know, we date down, we don't care. But I think where women go is their hypergamy kicks in. They think, why the fuck is she get a good guy? I don't. What does she have that I don't? I'm prettier than her. You know, I got this, I got that. What's going on here? I'm gonna steal that fucking man. Like, what are we talking about? So,
and I can almost guarantee it with the one solidified fact of like, you can tell a lot about, no matter, like, you know, women will always say like, oh, I don't care about your looks, yada yada yada, whatever the case may be, but it's the idea still that's buried in there where like everyone, like, you ask a woman like, okay, like, what's the shortest man you would date? Every woman's got one. Every woman has got one. 100%. You know, and it's one of those things where it's just in biology, you know. That's another thing that just plays into that biology aspect of it, you know what I mean, where even with women that are like the nicest, you know, like, I don't really care about like that kind of stuff, like the what's in the pants, the money, the yada yada yada, right? Even them will be like, I'm the kindest human being, but if a man that talks to me that's too short, I don't really look at him as a man, you know what I mean? That's just those biological characteristics that stack into the survival of women. You know what I mean? It's not hate, it's not overgeneralization, whatever the case may be. It's just biology. You know?
100%. 100%. All right, we're going to get into this next one. All right.
Riddle me this. A guy tracks you down on social media, waits months, begging you to go out with him, just keeps asking, you keep saying no. Finally, you give the guy a chance. He's cute. All right, fine. You go on a date. He's great. He's sweet. Great eye contact. Chemistry, I think's there. Have a good time. The whole conversation is about how he's ready for a family and he's only looking for a woman who really wants kids. That's the tone. I'm like, great, someone who's serious, who wants a relationship. Fast forward a few dates. It's getting kind of serious in my little pea brain. You know, introduce each other's dogs. We're visiting each other's places. You know, it's getting in this pea brain to the next step. You don't want to know what's going on in his pea brain. So fast forward again. We're having great long walks, great weekends. A couple months go by, having really good, serious talks. One could say there's a little bit of love bombing in there. There's a little bit of future faking in there. So, a couple months go by, you're doing one of your 4-mile walks, you're holding hands, the dogs are sniffing the grass, the sun is setting, you're only in mile 1 of the 4-mile walk, mind you. And, innocent female thought bubble, I say out loud, silly me, I go, so, are we kind of gonna delete the apps? Are we kind of exclusive? What's the plan, Stan? I mean, I don't want to pigeonhole you, but it's been a few months, and it seems to be going well. And I'm letting you into my safe space, my emotional, this is my favorite place on earth, and I don't just let anyone here. Stupid me, I'll never do that again. Spoiler alert. And this man looks at me dead in the eye, still holding my hand, and says, you know, I don't think so. I don't think I want a relationship. I don't think I want to be exclusive. I don't want to be with you. I don't see a future. And I'm like, it was kind of like, you know that meme where it's like the buffering. That was me. I'm like buffering. So my little brain, I'm like, and we're only on mile 1 of 4. My only thought at that time is, get me out of here. Get me out of here. I'm like, I think it's just like being adopted and, I don't know, being a tourist or just being me and having lived in New York. I need to always know there's an escape hatch. Like, where are the exits? How can I leave? I couldn't leave. There was the only way out was finishing this 4-mile walk. And I'm like, and this person stuffs at my house. I'm like thinking to myself, I wish I could like in Sims, I wish I could go to my house before we go back there, remove all of his materials and put them outside in front of his car so that I didn't have to deal with it. You know, like all of those things. Anyway, so we painfully finished the next 3 miles with him just like, you know, I just tuned it out, but I just let him regurgitate whatever he wanted to get out. I was just like, one-track mind. I'm like, get home, get back to safety. And I'm telling my dog, like, giddy up. And he's just telling me all the reasons why. He's like trying to find himself. He's like, he thinks he needs to like date more people. Well, no, first he said, the one thing I recall that I was like, he said, I think I need to be away from you to realize that I want to be with you. And I was like, he said he'll miss me when he's away from me and gone. So he needs to figure that out and feel that feeling first. And I was like, sir, you nuts. So we finally crawl back to my location, and this chicken nugget is like, yeah, so I can like stay in your guest room though. Like it's late. I'll drive back tomorrow. I was like, that's super amazing that you thought that. There's the door. Don't let it hit you. Well, maybe let it hit you on the way out. Skedaddle. And long story short, he was just shocked that I didn't want him to just, tent up and, stay the night. And
All right, we're done with that. What do you think?
That was one. That's very annoying. Two, the reason I got grossed out is because I don't like eyelashes like that. They're very spider leggy, and that's gross. But, yeah, I mean, I couldn't really thumb down exactly what was wrong with the dude. But I mean, there are some people that believe success is a destination, and so my first thought was this dude really just wanted the trophy of like, hey, I said I dated her, and then I'm gonna move on to the next like challenge, if you will, to fucking claim something else, mm-hmm. And then I can put this in my back pocket of like, this is my ex, she's XYZ or whatever, I guess, but the idea is because in my mind him faking everything up until that point of like, all right, are we exclusive or what? He's like, damn, I was kind of trying to think of a way to like really get this out better, but you beat me to the punch, and so now I don't really know what to say. I never really thought I would get this far, and I don't want it now. So it was the idea of like it. This is me putting her to the side for right now, right? 100%. Like, he could have wanted all those things, had an image in his mind of like what she'd be like, and then he's like, you know what, this bitch really not what I think she is, so I need an out. I just haven't thought of it yet. And then so either way, right, it's either something flipped in his mind that had to do with her, but I think the more likely idea in my mind is he really just wanted to conquer the conquest of like, I said I'm gonna get this lady, and now that I have, I'm kind of bored and I want to do something else. Okay.
I don't think he was doing that at all. I think this is the classic, we're running the relay race analogy that I like to use. So I like to run the relay race analogy, and if you guys don't know what the relay race analogy is if, for me, I start the race. I court you, I take you out on dates, I make you feel comfortable, I'm nice to you, these things like that. We get into the relationship, and the relationship is going. Then I hand you the baton because I'm like, all right, I've done my part. Now I want to see the reciprocalness out of you. And the women look at the guy like, what do I do? I don't know what's going on. And so the way that correlates to this situation right here is the fact that dude was doing everything right up until he was doing everything right. He got her comfortable, they were dating, hanging out and all that stuff. And then in his mind, he's just like, bro, she hasn't done shit to like show that she's interested in me, to show that she wants a future with me, to show that, she's there to kind of like be a support system to me or a partner, any of that. Like, she's just kind of been take. She has not given anything to this relationship. And then now she's expecting me to give even more because now she's asking, what are we? No. You know what? I don't think I know what I want from you, because in the beginning, I assumed that you were going to be a woman that I could chase, court, and then by the time I give you that baton, you know what to do with it. You're like, oh, yeah, I have no problem helping you out with this thing. Oh, I see that you couldn't get to this task, so I went ahead and did it for you. Oh, hey, I went ahead and, bought you this comforter for your bed because I know the comforter on your bed is old. Or, oh, I saw that you needed this little small thing taken care of, so you know what? I just did it for you. Don't worry about it. Like, she did none of that. And I know for a fact she did none of that because the dude, once it got to a point where where she asked the dude, what are we? He's like, bro, I can't commit to you. You haven't done anything. I handed the baton to you and you haven't taken a step. Like, you've done nothing. I can't count on you as my girlfriend to be that person that's going to be there for me. I can't count on you to be that person that's going to fill in the gaps in my life, because I'm doing that to you. It's why you're with me. Because I'm the gentleman. I pay the bills when we go out. I plan the dates. I do all these kind of things that are attractive to you, but you have done nothing. And I mean nothing. Because, look, what women don't understand is that when a guy sees a woman, all he sees is her looks at first. He's like, is that girl hot? He doesn't care about her personality. He don't care about, what she likes and what she wants to do. No. It's just, is she hot? Okay, once we get past the is she hot part and we're kind of in a relationship and we're talking and stuff like that, now the guy is like, okay, cool. We've checked off, is she hot? Now I want to get to know her personality. Now I want to get to know her. I want to see if, her and I are compatible and all those kind of things. And that's what I mean. It's like, once we get to that part of the relationship as a guy, my thing is, if you're not able to check off those things, if you're not able to be interesting enough to me, if you're not able to be, giving me, I guess, what it is that specific guy is kind of looking for in a relationship or in a girlfriend or a serious relationship, a lot of guys are going to sit there and just be like, I don't know. I don't know if I see something serious with you. It's the same thing with women. It's like, if a girl has been talking to a guy for a while and she feels like, these are X, Y, and Z things that I need out of him, and he's only doing X, but he's not doing Y and Z. Like, are you really going to think about a serious relationship with him? No, you're not, because you're not getting everything that you need out of that partner. So you're like, why would I commit to somebody who I'm not getting that fulfillment out of? My mother likes to use this analogy of like the cups. You know what I mean? Everybody starts with a half glass empty and a half glass full. And so your partner obviously fills your cup and you fill theirs. And it's just kind of like this nice ebb and flow and back and forth. And the thing is if you're just sitting there filling your partner's cup and you're fucking empty, why the hell would I want to be with you anymore? Like, why would I commit to you? Now, what a lot of guys are going to do is they're going to put you in the sex only category. They're just going to keep having sex with you. They're not going to really tell you these things. That's why I'm telling you. But I guarantee you, for this woman, she was doing absolutely nothing of value for him. And so he looked at it like, why am I going to commit to you?
Yeah, and you bring up valid points. What really threw me off at the beginning was because he was like, she said like he was begging like for months, a certain amount of time, right? And I was like, all right, no dude that is up front gonna be begging like please, 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 please would really expect, in my mind, any type of reciprocation, because you're just happy to be there, and that's why I thought in my mind he just wanted to get that, like, hey, we did it, and then get out of there. But you bring up some good points, because not once did she mention like, hey, I was doing this for him, or I went out and did this, or I would buy him this, or I would do this. She was like, we flash forward some dates, we're introducing each other, we're doing stuff together. Flash forward some more dates, we're doing stuff together, I'm letting him in, we're getting along. But she didn't mention anything about like what she's doing on her end. Exactly. And then from him, he's like, yeah, I don't think we're going to be working out. I want to spend some time apart to see if what you did have to offer makes me miss you. Yeah. And if it's not enough, then of course I'm not going to come the fuck back, And then from there, he's like, also, I want to see if I can date other women, because once I pass that baton, I want to see what actual running their leg of the race looks like, because you're running slow. Yeah. And I don't fuck with that. Mm-hmm. So it actually makes a lot more sense now that you break it down that way, because it, like I said, she didn't really have much to say on her end of what she was doing for the relationship. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so this is also what we like to talk to men about, is like, you got to frame the relationship from the jump correctly. You know what I mean? Like, if you beg her and like get her to go out with you, and you want to make your intentions known of like, hey, I do want a serious family, yada yada yada. I don't think he was upfront enough of like, this is what I expect from you. You know what I mean? Yeah, I get that. And so I think that's where he probably fucked up, even though, you know what I mean, you don't go fill out a job application and like, yeah, I I just expect to get paid for being here at the job. You know, like the boss not laying out any expectations means I don't have to do anything. You know what I mean? Like that's not how jobs work. That's not how relationships work. That's not how give and take work. You know what I mean? You have to have qualifications that get you through the door, which is i.e. those looks, and then from there, you know, you relate it to anything. But like what I feel like it relates very well and makes a really good analogy is job applications and job
that's why I started off by saying this is how men get into relationships. They don't care about anything else. It's just, is she hot? And I think because of that right there, is she hot? That's why he was begging. You know what I mean? That's why he was begging. That's why he was doing this. He was doing that. And because she was hot. He doesn't care about anything else. He's just like, is she hot? Yes. I'm going to do what I got to do and say what I got to say to get in that relationship. And once I do, then, you know, I think that's where your point is very correct. It's like if you got the girl, you know what I mean, and she's checked off the hot, and now we're on to the, okay, I want to get to know her stuff. You should lay down that groundwork of, hey, this is what I expect out of my partner. This is what I like. Because if you don't, like you said, in the job, she's going to just be like, cool, I got the job, and now I'm just here. Yeah. And there's no expectations of me. I'm just getting paid because I'm here. Yes. You know, so I do agree with that 1,000%. And it's just, that's what it is. She thinks that she got this whole, like, gotcha moment. He's horrible. No, this relationship didn't work out because of your lack on the relationship. Yeah, I mean, and it's pretty self-evident once you actually like look at it the right way. Yeah. I think she just left out those details of like what she was doing. She left it out on purpose. Because she's like, yeah, we introduced ourselves to our dogs and we do 4-mile hikes and yada yada yada. And it's like, yeah, you talk about stuff that you like to do together, but like, what did you do? You know, I'm sure he was paying, providing, planning, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, because if he wasn't, she wouldn't have been with him. Yeah. That's why we know that. Because if he wasn't doing those things, she would have broken up with him way before this walk and the whole what are we. She wouldn't even be asking what are we if that wasn't a thing. But the fact that she was asking what are we goes to prove him correct. That he was paying for the dates, planning the dates, paying for everything, like 1,000%. All right. This one, oh man. I think you're going to have a field day with this one, Rig 4. This one was absolutely insanity, but yeah.
Here's the deal. You cannot come back here. Do you understand? I don't want to go in. I don't want to go in. Okay, so leave the property. Yeah, no. So I'm going to... Go.
You're leaving. You're leaving now. Let's go. Haley.
No, I want to
You are leaving.
I'm ignoring you.
Let's go.
I would like to make a formal complaint. About what?
Haley.
About the establishment. What? That's not what we do. Pick up your stuff and let's go. I can't make a formal complaint. No, let's go. Why? Because they do not want you here. You keep coming back and you keep harassing the staff.
You're leaving.
Okay, no, wait, hold on. You, go away. You're pissing me off.
Excellent.
We get called by you, you're gonna go to jail. Haley.
No, everyone, shut up. I want to ask a question. Excuse me. First off, no, that's rude.
Haley.
You're going to act like a child, you're going to get treated like a child. They're telling you to go. No, I am not in their establishment. So you're under their convergence, okay?
Haley.
Let's go.
Sawyer, we're going home.
Another Sawyer.
Fucking
idiot.
You're going home.
I want to ask a question.
You're going home.
I suggest you listen to him and you go home for the night.
My best friend is a cop. You want to walk away?
I don't care what you're saying. I want to live. Wait.
Haley.
No, fight.
Walk away.
Oh. You can try it. You can take her things and you can leave.
No.
I just want to ask you a question. I will leave if you tell me to leave. That's fine. Well, I want to ask, why can I not ask questions about the establishment? You said you just wanted to file a formal complaint. We don't do that. No.
Listen. I've been as nice as possible.
Please.
You're a trespass from here. You're a trespass from Bull and Whistle.
No.
If we get another call, listen. Stop interrupting me.
I'm not interrupting you.
Yes, you are.
Go on.
If we get called about you one more time, I will take you to jail for public nuisance. Do you understand?
I understand.
Stop trying to yell. Do what you got to do. Go home.
Can I talk?
We're done talking.
No. We're done talking.
We
Go
are done.
home.
You got to go home.
No, I'm allowed We're going home.
If I get a call about you again for any reason,
Haley
I'll
Sawyer.
take you to jail.
No.
No.
All your fault.
Ryan.
Going
Oh,
home.
he's making this so much worse. No, actually, you was inside the establishment and I was fine.
They can change their mind. I told you earlier. If they don't want you there, you have to leave.
I don't want to go inside the establishment.
That doesn't matter. You can't stay here.
I know.
You can't harass
I don't want to go inside the establishment.
And I'm telling you, you can't stay here.
I'm not.
I've been patient. Do not yell over me.
You haven't.
I have actually.
You haven't listened to what I'm actually trying to say.
Hey, brother, where y'all stand?
All right.
Yeah, okay. So a few things here. I'm gonna start with the dude. Again with dating the woman named Sawyer. You fucking idiot. You already.
This was the adult version of that dude where he's like, please, Sawyer, please be my girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. 2, very evident what kind of man you are because she don't fucking listen.
Yeah, she has no respect
for you. She said, fuck off. You accepted the fuck off and sat down waiting for her. And it's one of those things where, like, I saw a very good video on it, but just to make a long story short, right? If you are trying to save someone from the consequences of their actions and they're not listening, you got to let them get those consequences. You got to throw your hands up, let them get their fucking consequences, and then they can just be held accountable that way, right? Because if you keep trying to be Captain Save-A-Ho, she's just going to fucking hate you. Because what she's seeing right now is my boyfriend doesn't support me. He's being yada, yada, yada. He's a bitch, yada, yada, yada. He was just yelling at me, being so mean. And you need to be that dude where it's like, all right, look, at the end of the day, if you want me to be around here, you follow my fucking lead. You don't follow my lead. You get left and you're on your own. That may be a harsh reality, but you pick. That's up to you, especially when you're being belligerent in front of the fucking club, right? And you're throwing a fit and the police are telling you to fucking leave. Like, all right, you get your consequences. I'm not going to be here because you didn't fucking listen to me. You know what I mean? We don't do that. 1, I wouldn't be out here in the club with my girl, but whatever. 2, you don't fucking listen to me when I say it's time to go, then your actions, like we talked about before on the podcast with that lady yelling outside the car at the old man, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, again, you don't fucking listen, then you're going to get the actions of your consequences, and those are going to hold you accountable. You don't want to listen to me? That's fine. That is absolutely fine. I'll go get someone that does listen, and we won't be in this situation. Sawyer. You know what I mean? So
see, this is why I say this all the time on the show. You need to be the type of man that you can just walk away from a woman.
Yeah.
And ain't shit gonna change about you, bro. See, what a lot of dudes do is they get so attached and they're so in love and all that stuff with their woman. And it's like, look, it's good to have love for your girl. 1,000%. But I personally believe as a man, it's never good to be in love with your woman. And the reason why is because when you're in love, it just makes you accept bullshit like this. And it makes you do dumb things. And it makes you kind of put your mission aside for her. And so then what that tells her is like, oh, okay, cool, dude. He's willing to like put all his shit aside for me. Like, I'm leading this shit. I'm the leader. I'm the one that said what I say goes. She thinks that she's the leader of the relationship. She thinks that she's in that leadership position. And so what does that lead to? That leads to her not respecting you. She doesn't respect your authority. That's why she was saying, oh, fuck you. You're pissing me off. Go away. That's why she has the audacity to say that, because she doesn't respect her man, because her man sits there and pretty much like gives up what he's supposed to be doing because he's so in love with her, and I'm gonna do whatever you say. No, bruh, this goes back to my point. You need to fucking put your foot down with your girl. Like, no, bitch, this is what it is. And if you don't want to obey by that, okay, you're single.
Yeah.
You're single. We're done. It's over. Because a lot of guys sit there and they will be all big, bad, and tough, and they'll break up with a girl, but then they go crawl back like the loser that they are because after the breakup, they sit there, oh, man, I miss her, dude. Oh, man, I loved her, dude. Oh, man. No, bro, you need to have a life to where no matter if she's in it or she's not, ain't shit changing about your life.
Yeah.
Ain't shit changing. Like, I've gotten to a point in my life right now where, you know, when I'm dating women, when I'm talking to women, when I'm in relationships with them and stuff, dude, if they want to leave, cool, deuces. My life don't change. My life don't change. I'm still doing the podcast, still working, still running my business. I don't give a shit. And they look at me and they're like, oh, wow, you're not upset about it? You're not sad? No. You made your choice. You made your bed. Fucking lay in it. Bye. I'm not going to sit here and coddle you. I'm not going to sit here and infantilize you because of your bad decisions. That was a bad decision you made. You're an adult. Have autonomy. Get the fuck out of my face and leave me alone. But see, a lot of dudes, man, they sit there and they just, oh, no, but I love her. Oh, that's my girl, bro. That's why she doesn't respect you.
Yeah.
That's why and she's going to sit there and she's going to be in public embarrassing you like that.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing for a man. These dudes, people are walking by like, damn, that dude can't even get his girl straight. She's over here yelling at the cops. She's over here telling him to fuck off. Like, damn.
And like he said, he thought getting louder was going to change anything.
Yeah, and it goes to your point. Like, bro, your girl's a direct reflection of you, man. Yeah. Like if you can't wrangle up your girl and get her in check, bro, it makes you look bad.
Yeah.
You know, that's just how everybody else sees it. But yeah, bro.
That was terrible.
Absolutely terrible. There was a video in here. I cannot find it. Here it is. Okay. I really want to get your take on this because I've been seeing this a lot lately. You're in this position.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I want to get your, as a provider man, you know what I mean? Like his wife doesn't work. She stays home and takes care of the kids and does what she got to do because he works and he makes enough money. So that's kind of what this video is like geared towards or who they're talking about. All right. So I kind of want you kind of in that mindset, I guess.
Okay.
All right. Oops. Hold on. Let me get the view for the people. My bad, y'all. Hold up.
Right? So it doesn't matter. And of course, in the comment section and the likes, you have thousands of women agreeing with this bullshit. Every day, y'all keep trying to find more and more ways to water down and minimize a man's existence in your life every day. You are also going to cook and clean whether you are in a relationship or not, so that means nothing. That you're sacrificing nothing. Do you think his light bill would be the same if...
Provider man here. I always think it's funny that the men who aren't provider men love to talk for the provider men. Like, you don't have a family. I just want you to know that, like, I know you don't have a family. I'm pretty sure, like, single as a dollar bill. You are old. You're, like, in your 30s. You're single. You don't have a family. You're not a provider. Stop speaking for the provider men. And I'm not saying I speak for all provider men, but being a man that actually does provide for his family, I'm not listening to a man that doesn't. Now, let me tell you something right now. Nothing you said was accurate. And I'm going to tell you why. The difference between what men do and what women do is this. And I've been talking about this all week, but I'm just so happy that I came across your video. Women don't just cook and clean. And that's the telltale sign right there. Because you guys actually think that that's all women do. And even with that, women are doing 4 times more cooking and 4 times more cleaning than they would if they were just by themselves. I'm going to set that to the side. Men are not doing 4 times more work at a job with the family though. Like you might increase your hours by 10%. You might go from 40 hours to 45 hours a week, but you are getting all of this stuff in return. You get a family. So all you got to do. So you're saying like pretty much all men have to do is go to work 5 hours more a week and they get a whole fucking family. They get a wife, they get children, all these things that benefit them. But apparently that is 1-to-1 with women. First, giving birth to children, first and foremost, that's a big sacrifice. But secondly, let me get to what I was saying before. Women don't just cook and clean. Women plan. I'm talking about parties. I'm talking about buying Valentines for kids' classes. I'm talking about making sure that everybody got a cupcake in the class for the birthday party. Like, and before you be like, oh, I didn't even think about. Of course you didn't think about that because you've never done this and you've never been around any of this, but I have. So I'm going to tell you as a provider man that I'm around my kids and I'm around all this planning stuff and I help. I know what it looks like. I'm talking about buying Christmas presents. I'm talking about buying birthday presents. I'm talking about knowing what the kids want to eat, what they're willing to eat, how they like to eat it, when they like to eat it. I'm talking about making doctor's appointments for her, for the husband, and for the kid. I'm talking about buying the soccer uniforms, buying the cleats, buying the jersey. Women do exponentially more labor when they have a family. Men don't. I'm not saying men don't do any more labor, but it's not a one-to-one. It's not like, oh, well, I'm doing 5 hours more a week at work and you're only doing 5 hours more a week in the home. No. Women are doing all the mental labor. They're doing the emotional labor because, again, your stupid ass cannot go out in the world, go to work, have a bad day, come home and stay regulated. So she got to worry about all of that. She got to worry about regulating the kids too. Like, women are doing all of these things, and all you have to do as a man is work 5 hours more a week. And then you want to get on the internet, a man that doesn't provide, doesn't have a family, and tell provider men that they're more important than what they really are, and we're not. And you want to demean and put down the contributions of women. I'm gonna say this every single time you dummies try to have this conversation. Working a job is not a fucking sacrifice. Period.
So I think we've all seen.
Okay.
All right.
So his main point is you working extra hours is not a sacrifice in the relationship because you would already be doing that if you were single. But she is making more of a sacrifice, or she's actually the one making the sacrifice because she has to take care of the kids. She has to do all the school stuff and all the, driving them back and forth and all those kind of things.
Right.
Yeah. So that's his point. What do you think?
So what I would say to that is they kind of both have it a little fucked up because, one, the first dude that's not a provider, honestly should shut the fuck up because in reality, it's like he said, you're not providing for a family. You don't really have much of a leg to stand on. That's just how it is, Secondly, this dude saying it's not one-to-one is also incorrect, especially when you have the idea of some men are entrepreneurs, and that in and of itself is a lot harder than hourly pay work, right? And a lot of people are probably going to hate that I say this, but the working man for hourly is a lot softer than the man that is an entrepreneur building his own fucking life. And that's just how it is. That's just facts, right? If you get paid for your time, you don't have to have fucking these exuberant amount of skills that are dynamically changing every fucking day. Do you need to be able to have a brain and think? Yes, of course, because doctors, doctors are salary, I think, right?
To a degree, yes.
Yeah, this is not excluding salary workers as well, because they also, I think salary is probably the worst of the bunch, right? You get fucking your pay is capped no matter what the fuck you do.
Yeah.
Right? At least
doctors get paid hourly when they're on call. That's why for them it's a gray area because they do get a salary, but anytime they're on call and they do on call hours, they're hourly.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I would say salary is probably the worst. Hourly, at least you can trade more hours for that, right? You can work hard and move up, yada yada. And then entrepreneurs, I would say, have it the absolute hardest, right? Because you could work, at the beginning, you could work fucking 24, 48, 72, 96 hours and get jack fucking shit because your skills are not there yet, right? And so you not having those skills is a direct reflection of what the fuck kind of life you and your family have, right? And so from there, and then it just trickles down from there, right? Hourly, you have the skills, and there's wiggle room with it. If you fuck up, your boss is not going to fire you right away. You're still going to get paid for those hours you worked because that's in your contract. You work a set amount of hours, whether you fuck up or you don't, you're going to get paid for that, right? Salary, I mean, you could work fucking 50,000 hours in a week, which is not real, I get it, but it doesn't matter if you work overtime or undertime, you're getting the same wage, and that's kind of fucked, I think, you know what I mean? Especially with the idea of your skills mean nothing to what you get paid. But the idea behind it is, to his point of like women take care of all the back end stuff, and you as a man working extra hours, yada yada yada, doesn't equivalent to that, right? I don't think that's accurate, right? Okay. I think it is actually 1-to-1, especially because, like I say, the idea of hourly does not sit well with me. I fucking hate it. But the idea is you still are breaking your back for your family. You know what I mean? And yeah, you could be breaking your back regardless. But if you don't have a family and you're breaking your back, you just go home to the end of the day and you have you, just like you always do. If you're breaking your back and your family's at home, they're missing time with dad, they're missing the lessons, they're missing your mindset, they're missing the experience with their dad, right? And it's even more with the entrepreneurial side of it, because I tell you what, you fucking... And this is for any person that's an entrepreneur, because they both deal with the same shit, right? Once your children get an idea of like what work should be, they don't really get what an entrepreneur does, right? So you're like, yeah, I'm working for 16 hours a day. You come home and like, all right, dad, like how many sales did you make? Or like, how much money did you bring home? Not shit. And you're like, what did you do all day? I worked. And it's like, well, I don't get to see you all day. You say you work, but you have nothing to show for it. And that's even harder, where it's like, God, is dad stupid? You know what I mean? Like, they don't see what it is to actually be a provider man, right? And I say that from a sales experience. However, it's a similar idea with, that hourly work is you go into work, you work a set amount of hours, you get something for that, but you're missing time with the kids. So it should be absolutely applauded, and I say that for not only my wife, for all the wives out there that sacrifice what it is that they do, right? Because it is a lot, right? If say like right now, right, you're very busy, right? Say right now you had 3 other beings where you had to not only keep track of their doctor's appointments, their dentist appointments, what times they're at school, what times she's at the house, right? If she's not doing anything outside of the house, right? I say that because my wife volunteers at our kids' school, so she's also out of the house. But then, you take on the responsibility of cleaning for all 4 of you, knowing that, hey, she likes dino nuggets, she likes animal chicken nuggets, you know what I mean? And like, she likes ketchup, she doesn't like ketchup. Yeah, and you have to balance all that kind of stuff. It's like the ketchup can't be touching. At the end of the day, right? Could you as a single dad do that kind of stuff? But does it not make it that much easier on you to provide and then come home and pour yourself into your family? And she takes care of all that stuff on the other end of that. And that's why I'm saying to me, it's really a 1-to-1. You know what I mean? Because the sacrifice on the male end is you spend all that time at work and you miss out on all that fun experiences of, the dance recitals, the time with kids, remembering whose best friend is who, having that relationship with the parents, because you have to know another kid's parents in order to really say like, hey, yeah, our kids can intermingle and fuck with each other, as well as she's got to balance being friends with them because they're having the same idea of like, are these parents someone I want to fuck with? And there's a lot that really goes into it, and that's why I'm saying you miss out on what she covers, and she is missing out on stuff that you cover, right? Yeah. And that's why I say it's a 1-to-1 more than anything. And so I really don't have one way or the other of an idea. I think it just comes a little biased because obviously for me, there's nothing to build without a dude, right? Obviously the man is the foundation to everything, right? And she is the one that also plays in, like, you guys can build together, and then she's the maintainer, right? And then so it's I could go on way too long about this, and that's why I'm like fighting myself on like really what I want to dive into. But the idea is, long story short, I would say it's 1-to-1. Okay. They just have different roles.
Now, all right, look, I am not considered a provider man or whatever, and that's why I wanted you to say on this. I'm not going to give my opinion because, like he said, my opinion doesn't matter, and I shouldn't speak on that, and I agree 100%. Now, would you agree with him, because I'll ask you the questions, and that way we can kind of... So would you agree with him that a man who is single, say he works 40 hours, right? And 40 hours is able to take care of his lifestyle while he's single. Now he has a family. He has a wife and one child, let's say. Do you think he's only going to work 5 extra hours, or do you think he's going to work another 40 hours on top of that?
Yeah, honestly, and that's why I would say that's why I really can't get behind the idea of trading time for work, because you only have a certain amount of time in each day.
Yeah. But I mean, he wants that dynamic of like, my wife is at home, so I got to work, extra hours. So do you think the man would consciously think to himself like, oh, I only have to work 5 hours. That's good. Or do you think he would try to maximize the amount of like extra hours that he would work because he knows, hey, I want this family dynamic?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to have to maximize. And this is what, especially being in the sales realm, I'm going to keep it short because we're trying to get rolling through here. But in the sales realm, the idea that when people really, what I see a lot of people end up doing is trying to find supplemental income because they understand that hourly work is just not enough. You make 25 an hour, you do 40 hours a week. That's less than what is that? That's less than $3,500 a week, right? The reason I know that is because I work with a lot of working class, and I did the math myself. If you're not making $32 to $33 an hour, you're not making $3,500 a week, and then $3,500 a week being around $12,000 a month, right? And so the reason I say that is because a lot of the people that I work with that make over that threshold have very comfortable lifestyles, right? But on the lower end, the people that I end up dealing with are like, oh, like I'm living paycheck to paycheck. It's just so expensive, yada, yada, yada. California sucks, right? And what they end up doing is trying to find supplemental income because they realize maxing out hours because of laws and time being finite is just not enough for a family dynamic. And that is the issue, where it's like a lot of people will say like they've tried it, right? Like you're saying, like, do you agree that they would only work 5 more hours? No. Because that would be stupid. You wouldn't be able to provide shit for your family.
So do you think, because he says that because you work those 5 extra hours, or let's say those 40 extra hours, he says that those extra hours are not a sacrifice on the man.
No, I don't agree with that at all, because like if you had a job where you showed up and breathed and then you get those extra hours and extra pay, then but no one really does that. You know what I mean? Especially I would say the highest form of hourly pay respect that I have for job wise is like teachers and blue collar workers. You know what I mean? Because they fucking, like I say, break their goddamn back.
1,000.
And then for them to like, I pulled a double, triple, yada, 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 so that way she can do gymnastics or dance or whatever. It's like, all right, brother, respect on that. At the end of the day, I would say building something more that pays more hourly than, and is a direct reflection of you in your character would be more beneficial. Breaking your back for more pay for their providing that is a lot more respectful, and I would definitely say not something that should be taken lightly as it's not a sacrifice.
Okay. So do you think, so let me get it correct. You believe that the extra, let's say 40 hours, is the sacrifice for the man?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because that is a sacrifice, and because those extra 40 hours are a result of those 40 hours are what all the women do as far as taking them to the gymnastics and doing all that extra stuff, do you think because those extra 40 hours are the reason and the cause of her being able to do all those things, is it 1-to-1 because of that, or is it that the man is making a little more of a sacrifice than she is because all she has to do is kind of use the money to just pay for the gymnastics and she just has to be there?
Yeah, and so it's, you could go, like I said, you could go back and forth on that, because thinking about it that way, it would be like, a man is sacrificing more. However, those experiences aren't there without her. Does that make sense? Because you at work, right, being a single dad, like, I can't take you to soccer today, Sally, because I'm fucking working extra. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I can pay for those, but I can't take you. Or I can pay for the cupcakes and shit. I don't have a way for you to get them to school. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, it's hard to say one way really or the other, because I think it's just really just 1-to-1. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, because I only ask you because that is what the guy, the video he was reacting to, that's what the guy was saying. He was saying, like, oh, it's not a sacrifice for the woman to take care of the kids because, you know, she'd be taking care of the kids regardless, or she would be doing all the stuff that she's doing for the kids. She would be doing that for herself regardless. And so that's why he feels like it's not a sacrifice for the woman to do what she's doing. But I more agree with him on the side, and I think with you as well, where it's like, it is a sacrifice. Like, she now has to do everything that she was doing. It's her extra 40 hours. Yeah, is my thing. Like, yeah, she can do all these things for herself, sure, but now she has a kid that she has to do all the things that she would be doing for herself for somebody else too. Yeah, she has to do it for herself and for somebody else. So, like, that's her extra 40 hours. That's her sacrifice. And I think that's why, like, I agree completely when you said it was 1-to-1, because you're both doing your part. It's like, I'm working the extra 40 hours so that way the gymnastics and the cupcakes and all that stuff are paid for. But at the same time, she is putting in all that effort and energy to make sure that it happens. Yeah. You know, I can buy it. That's fantastic. But who's going to make it happen? Yeah. She is.
And it's very self-prevalent too, because we just recently, a couple weeks ago, right, had a birthday party for my daughter, right?
Fantastic birthday party.
Fantastic birthday party. He was there. And it was wonderful. We had almost like 100 people at the fucking house, right?
Oh yeah, he was not expecting all these people. And man was running around the house.
Not a single person showed up because of me, right?
Yeah.
Very few people showed up because of me, because obviously I've known you forever.
Oh yeah.
Some of the people from my old work had showed up as well. That was maybe 5 people max, right?
Yeah.
No one else that showed up out of that close to 100 people showed up because of me. It was all because of the relationship my wife had with volunteering at the school, all the time she poured into my children, shaping who they are, them being likable by their classmates, all the behind the scenes stuff that men don't get to be involved with or see, that she poured into them, and it really made for such a great time and a fruitful party for her, because they all, like, I think she got a gift from goddamn everyone there.
Oh yeah, shit. We at the end of the party, she has so many damn gifts. He was literally like, don't ever say anybody doesn't care about you or get anything for you.
Exactly.
Because they showed out for you.
They showed the fuck out. Dresses, dolls, like jewelry, perfume, makeup, you know, and she's not even old enough for makeup and shit like that. You know what I mean? But like, dude, they showed the fuck out. And I attest that to my wife, because she's the one, like, volunteering, helping the teachers, meeting the parents, talking to them, sending cupcakes, you know what I mean, like, trying to do her best for our children. And it's like, it's that, and the only reason anything was paid for was because I racked my brain for these upcoming months. I just took on the insurance job, and I racked my brain. I tried my hardest really to be the person that I am today in order to close the amount of deals that took it to pay for everything. You know what I mean? And that's not something easy. A lot of the people that I see over my time in sales show up and they're like, fuck this, dude. I can't figure this shit out. There's no fucking formula, and they head out. When there is a formula, there is, if with enough will and yada yada, you'll become the person that is actually good at sales and able to close, at least not consistently with the idea of trying, but like you put yourself in the best position possible to close as many deals as you can. And that's why I was able to provide for that. And so of course I'm there like, yeah, like this is great. You know what I mean? She did her part, I did my part, and that's what made it such a great party for our girls. And he was a witness to that. You know what I mean? You can see it. So anyone that says one side sacrifices more, the other is just looking at it wrong, and they have a bias that they're really trying to confirm. You know what I mean?
All right. Oh, let us know what you think about that one in the comments, definitely. But yeah, I looked at it like I got no say in this. I know that you do, so that's why I wanted to get your take on it. Because when I saw that, I was like, I wonder what, the rigger would have to this, because I'm just like, it's interesting. It's very interesting. All right, let's get on into our next one. I definitely want to get your take on this because it does deal with like her mother-in-law gave her advice and she took it thinking like this advice is good. But I don't know. I'm going to get you guys' take on it. Let's see.
Gave me a piece of advice about marriage that I did not take, but I absolutely should have taken. She said to me, don't do his laundry, you're going to learn to hate him. And I remember thinking in the moment, like, wow, she is bitter. I don't know what her deal is with this laundry, but like, I feel like she's blowing this one out of proportion. But now I can tell you, after having been married for quite a while, that I don't do my husband's laundry. And this advice is something I tell to many women. Because what typically happens in these situations is when we're first together, when we move in together or we get married, we do things for each other, acts of kindness to show them that we love them. Hey babe, I did your laundry. I know you've had a long week. Hey babe, I made the coffee so it'll be ready in the morning for you. We do all of these things out of kindness and love for our partners. But then what happens is an expectation has been set. Something clicks in their brain that says, oh, she is going to do my laundry. She is going to make the coffee. She is the one who's going to make sure to book the vet appointment. She is the one who's ordering the groceries and telling you when to pick them up. Every time we do something, especially if we do it often, it sets an expectation. And then our partners expect us to do those things. And this is how the domestic labor goes from equal to very unequal very quickly, because oftentimes we're trying to show our love for our partner and our care for them by doing these things for them. And what happens with women is it becomes an expectation. When men do it, and it's a romantic gesture, it's a one-time favor, it's something that we should look forward to and be thankful for. But when women do it, it sets an expectation that it is now her job, and it's assumed it's her job also just through societal norms. And so I follow my mother-in-law's advice. You can say this about groceries, laundry, his doctor's appointments, buying gifts for his parents, anything, right? Don't do it. Don't do it, because you're setting an expectation that it is yours. And it's not yours to hold, right? We need to be very careful not to set expectations that it is our job as women to do everything for everyone. And so I'm interested to know, what's a piece of marriage advice that you got that you did not take? Because this one would have done me a whole lot of good if I'd actually listened to her.
Excellent.
See,
she's gonna be single.
I can't stand. Oh yeah, her husband left her. Because, and rightfully so, because it's like men can't have standards, men can't have expectations, and men can't be able to give their woman a role and they just gladly fill that role. Like, bro, I've always said it. Like, my partner, I want somebody who is able to come in and fill the gaps. I expect that.
Yeah.
That is an expectation. You want to know why? Because you as the woman and she as my partner has expectations as well. She expects me to be the leader of the relationship. She expects me to take care of the household. When something breaks, she expects me to be the one to fix it. When the car is putt-putting and there's a flat tire, she expects me to do these things. Like, bro, there is nothing wrong with having expectations. I don't understand why men can't have standards and they can't have expectations of their woman. But you can have expectations of your man. You can expect him to want to do this. I expect you to go to work. I expect you to make all the money. I expect you to plan and pay for the dates. I expect you to be this kind of guy. I expect chivalry out of you. Okay, cool. You want all those things? That's totally fine. And if I check off all those boxes, well, guess what, woman? I have expectations on you too. And I need you to fulfill these expectations. Yes, when I do the things that I am expecting of you, yes, it is a romantic gesture. And you want to know why it's a romantic gesture? Because these are not the things that are expected of me. They're not. I'm doing things outside of my expectations. If I decide to do the laundry and you're just like, oh, babe, I was coming home to do that. That is a romantic gesture because that's not my expectation. That is yours. I don't understand why women don't get that.
Yeah. And I think the idea is, especially when you have a man that's building something, right? Because you have like you said, those expectations that a man will do X, Y, and Z. A man has a vision for the family. He has a vision that he's striving towards, trying to drive the family in that direction. Every time you put something else on his plate that is expected of you, you are taking away from that vision, right? Every time he's going up to practice his skills, go to the gym, take care of something, every time you throw something else at him to take away from one of those things start to dwindle and dull. And I think that's where women really don't understand or appreciate what men do, because at the end of the day, right, not just on the entrepreneurial side, but on the side of any man that's a provider man, right? Say hourly, you just pull a double because you're like, dude, I gotta pay for Sally's, choir practice or, dance recital or whatever. And then at the end of that, you're working extra hours. You get home. She's like, yeah, you don't got clean clothes for tomorrow. So, but yet you can't expect me to clean for you. That's fucked up. It's not the fact that it would help you be more ready and prepared for tomorrow, so that way you can keep providing so we can do shit at home. For them, they're like, I don't want expectations of me, so I'm not doing that. You do it. And it's like, for a man that's breaking his back, trying his hardest really to bring home bread for you, so that way you can have the ability to do what you're doing on your end, you then want to put more of that on him because you just feel like there should be this... I don't even know what. I can't fathom it because I'm not stupid. But the idea...
Yeah, I know.
The idea is there's something that they feel like they're missing out on, or like they're not getting enough of by you not doing your own laundry, or you not ordering the groceries and then going to pick them up, or you not handling more of the at-home responsibilities.
No, I think it's more of just women, for some reason, have this idea that the duties of a wife are like slavery. They're oppressive.
Yeah.
Like, no, dude. That's like me saying, oh my God, I am oppressed because I have to provide for my wife.
Yeah.
That's oppression. Like, no, bruh. You helping me out by doing these things is not oppressive to you. Yeah. Anything that is helping out the relationship, that is doing your part. That is like the Super Troopers. I am doing my part. Like, for some reason, women don't want to do their part.
Yes.
I don't get it. They'll do it in the beginning. They have no problem doing it in the beginning, but for some reason, they think like men are just going to be like, oh, you know what, babe? You've been doing fantastic for 5 years. Stop doing all that shit, dude. Yeah. Just stop doing all of it. I'm going to take care of everything for you. No, because my expectation is this is what I want out of my woman. This is why I married you. Like the girl, like that blonde girl, how we were talking about. The reason she didn't get a relationship with that guy was because she didn't do anything of value for him. Now, if she was doing things of value for him, i.e. his expectations of her, then she would have gotten the relationship. She would have gotten it. But because those expectations weren't met and hers were met, and we know that hers were met, and the reason being is because she stayed with him and got to a point where she's asking where we are, or what we are. That's why the relationship didn't happen, because she decided, oh, I don't want to fulfill my expectations of the relationship. No, thank you. I don't want to do that. Why would I? That's stupid. Like, he should check my boxes, and I don't need to necessarily check his boxes. It's like, why is that a thing? Why is it so oppressive to just do your duty in a relationship?
And the perspective I like to give on it is, it'll always go back to how jobs work, right? Say in the same in the same scenario, you have someone apply for a job, they get the job, they happily do their job expectations, right? And then they get mad at the CEO because they're like, he spends all his time in the office and he doesn't do anything. And it's like, motherfucker, where does your paycheck come from? Isn't it that motherfucker up there? Like, and then they also, right, this is granted, they have a competent CEO. I'm not talking about incompetent bosses. I'm talking about competent bosses, right? You, in the same breath, you're like, that motherfucker's not out here doing what we do, yada, yada, yada. But it's like, who's the one signing the contracts, getting the logistics worked out? Who's the one actually putting in the work, the idea that actually keeps the whole system running, you know? And but there's nothing worse than working with an employee that fucking hates their job, right? Like you have dudes underneath you, right?
Yeah.
Like them showing up to work, like I don't think any of them would have this conversation with you, but two, if they showed up to work and like, I fucking hate doing my job, and you are above me and you do less work than me, or you do different work than me, not less work, but you do different work than me. I hate that you do different work than me.
Yeah.
Would you keep them the fuck around?
No.
Fuck no.
Yeah, no,
absolutely
like,
not.
dude.
And it's the same thing where it's
Yeah.
like, you understood that your role as the wife is to do X, Y, and Z. That is what these expectations set out for you. And then you're like, well, I hate the provider because he does a different job than me.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
well, why the fuck are you what do you like, it's the same thing in the same face, right? You imagine you got hired onto a job and then you're like, boss, come take some of the responsibilities that I do, and you do them, and then also still try to run the company. And it's like
it ain't gonna work that way.
How how do you think that business would run if the CEO had to come down and help the little guy at every moment that they asked for it? You know what I mean? And you can take offense to the idea of like little guy, CEO, yada, yada. I don't give a fuck, right? The idea is still there where it's like they're giving you, the reason I say the CEO versus you is because they're the ones giving you that paycheck, providing you with a job in the first place. They're the reason that you're even there, able to do what you need to do, right? And in the same breath, you're like, he's not doing the parts of my job that I don't fucking like, so I hate him for it, and I hate working here. And you expect to be, for then your CEO, right, or for your husband to then be like, you know what, you're right. Stop doing what you're doing. I will pick up that slack and also try to have time to do what I do as good as I do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why the fuck do you think that that's how a family dynamic should work?
Right.
So that's my 2 cents on it. If
Yeah.
you think that your man you're not taking away from your man by having him do what you're expected to do, you are. You're making the relationship a lot worse for yourself than if you did just shut the fuck up and handle what you needed to handle.
Yeah. I mean, it just comes down to like, you can't sit there and have expectations of somebody and expect them not to have expectations back. It's ridiculous. It's asinine to me that someone would think like, oh, I have expectations, but you can't. Yeah. Like, that's ridiculous. All right. We're going to get on to our next story. Now, you have probably heard about the whole Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion thing.
I haven't. No.
Okay, so like apparently Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion are dating, and then Klay Thompson cheated on her, and so she took to the internet and was just like, oh, he's cheating, this and that. And a lot of women are sitting there thinking like, oh no, why would she cheat on, or why would he cheat on her? He's supposed to be the nice guy. He's the guy that, you know, you settle down with after you're having fun. You know, how dare he? Like, she's the one that made him. And it's like, wait, hold up, like, you know who this nigga is? Like this nigga's probably one of the most famous basketball players out right now. Like, nigga's got multiple championships. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars while she's only worth tens of millions. Like, niggas knew him before they knew her. And you guys are sitting there. He's going to explain it, but you know, that's kind of the dynamic and like where we're at.
Okay.
And so I want to get your thoughts, I guess, on it. Because it's just, everybody's been talking about it. So I'm like, you know what? Let's fucking talk about it.
I heard a man say he's playing house with a woman. Like, clearly she was doing to get married, because she literally said, I started staying home, I'm playing house. When women say they're playing house, they're basically saying, I'm not doing, because women only want to do traditional for the guy who they expect to put a ring on it, put a baby in here, or do some more committed type of stuff. If say it got to move in with a girl because of whatever, it could be financial reasons, he's not gonna describe it as, oh, I'm playing house. But women look at playing house as, oh, I'm being a housewife, and this is not coming either with the chicken, the ring, or giving me the baby, the family. So you could tell she was only doing all that TikTok shrimp cooking for hoping to nudge him into, yo, I need a ring. Now, do I think Clay was in love? I don't even think Clay was in love like that. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I think Clay was with it, but I think Clay was just trying to make it work. They didn't even last that long. They lasted like 8 months. Yeah, I don't think he was in love like that. Yeah, that's another thing. Yo, how is she holding him down? If anything, she was holding him back. She wasn't holding him down. How's she holding him down? Women want credit for just simple thing. Oh, you're being a girlfriend? So that's holding him down. Well, how is it holding him down?
All right. What you think?
I'm just a little confused on what happened. So she was acting like a housewife in order to get married.
Yeah, like the biggest thing is when they got together, you know what I mean? I guess she has a bit of a past or whatever with other basketball players, rappers, whatever it may be. And, you know, she's always cheated. She's always had this kind of aloof, like, I'm a bad bitch, you know, shaking my ass on Instagram, this and that. Now I guess she's gotten to a point where, you know, she doesn't want to do that anymore. She's like, I'm trying to get tied down, whatever. So a lot of people are like, yo, she was doing everything possible that she could to try to get that ring, try to get the baby, try to settle down. But it just looked fake. It looked insincere because everybody kind of knows who she is, or they know how she is. And that's why he was saying she was playing house, because with all the other niggas, man, she wasn't doing that. She was still on her whole time. She was, you know what I mean, being out there, being a bad bitch, this and that. And all of a sudden she meets this dude. And that's why I was saying Klay Thompson was perceived as the nice guy, the guy that I settle down with after I'm done being a hoe, or after I'm done having my fun, whatever. And I agree with him. I don't think he was in love with her either, because he knew who she really was. It's like, bro, I can see through the facade. Like, I'm here to just get me some coochie and have some fun with you. And it goes back to when we were talking about the whole, like, dating an OnlyFans model or dating, you know, somebody in that industry, where it's like, you're dating them for fun. You're dating them to have a good time, have some sex with them, whatever, but you're not dating for marriage. You're not dating because this is the one. You're dating because this is just fun. It's a cool thing. It is what it is. She's hot. She's in the limelight, whatever. And motherfuckers are sitting there thinking like, oh no, how dare he cheat on her? And it's like, bro, do you know who he is? Like, he could have any woman that he wants. Like, why would you think that a man of that caliber, who is so much further than you, would just be loyal to just you, knowing your past, knowing how you were? Like, why would he take that risk?
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense, because if you think about the idea of like high value men, right? It's typically at the tippity top. You know, there's like CEOs, rappers, and then there's probably athletes, right? Athletes are probably like the cream of the crop for women, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so they're like, yeah, and for obviously I've heard some of Megan Thee Stallion's music, so it's like, yeah, by no means would someone like Klay Thompson take her serious, because it's like, you know, it was you hear it in her lyrics. I don't know her lyrics off the top of my head, but I know for a fact it's not someone to be taken serious.
It's a bunch of my pussy wet and popping booty and this and that. Like, bro, I'm not gonna look at that and be like, yeah, you're the type of woman I want to take serious. Like, no, I'm not, bro. I'm sorry to say it, like, you're side chick material, bruh. You're the type of girl that I'm not really going to, like, take serious like that. I'm just not.
And
like,
I guarantee that while he was playing, he probably came up and got in the position that he's in single, right? I don't think he had a woman with him. And so, if anything, this is like I said earlier in the show, any time you expect your man to do something with you, you take away from what makes him him and gives you the opportunity to be where you're at. You know what I mean? So I just mentioned it because I saw in the comments of that video of like someone said that like his shooting his point average went down while he was dating her. You know what I mean? Okay. And I'm like, he probably didn't get to practice as much because she was taking up all his time or just being a fucking nuisance and getting in his head. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, it's one of those things where we talk about it on the show. You can't let women take away from your life so much that you start to see noticeable degradation in what makes you you.
Yeah.
I.e. what you said of like your life should be no different whether a woman's in it or not in it. You know what I mean? Because you only get to the point where you get to attract women without them being in your life.
Yeah.
So them being in your life will always stunt what it is your full potential is.
Yeah. I get it. That's why, like I said, that's why I give that piece of advice of like, bro, your life should be so structured in a way to where if a woman comes in, cool, nothing changes. If she decides to leave or do some fuck shit and you need to leave her, cool, my life doesn't change. I'm not sitting here whining and crying over you and all this. Nah, man, I got a business to run, I got shit to do, I got money to make, I got people to meet. You know, it's like, bro, being hung up on that bullshit is retarded. It really is. But you know, it is what it is. I wanted to get your take on that. All right, we're going to get into the last little video. I'm not going to play the video. We're just going to talk about it because I don't want him to like influence anything. So I'm sure you guys have seen this. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't know. But Mr. Beast proposed this purely hypothetical of everyone on Earth takes a private vote by pressing a red or blue button. So if more than 50% of people press the blue button, everyone survives. If less than 50% of people press the blue button, only the people that press the red button will survive. So which button are you pressing?
And he said, be honest.
Yeah.
I also saw this come up on my...
I'll show you guys the post there. That way you guys can read it and see it.
I also saw this on my Instagram.
Okay.
I saw it on Instagram first.
Okay.
Yeah. And I had the idea in my head rolling back and forth, right? And it was brought up in the comments, and it makes logical sense. The idea that you could not get the human race to 100% agree on anything is the exact reason why the blue button has the better odds of everyone surviving. Better odds, yes. Likely odds, probably not. Because I know for a fact that the majority of the race would be on self-preservation mode. And like, either way, if I press the red button, I'm not dying. So I'm pressing the red button, right?
Yeah.
And so that in and of itself, I feel like knowing that, and as well knowing that there is going to be at least out of 7 billion people, one person that presses the blue button is a choice to kill the people that are choosing the blue button. For me, right, I you know what I mean, call me naive, call me dumb, whatever the case may be. I'm a blue button person. You know what I mean? I would press the blue button because I would hope that at least that 51% gets us all safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I do understand that the reality of the matter is more than likely probably more people would press the red because they know it's a guaranteed save. And
and look,
we would all be dead.
The reason why I would press the red button is simply because the average intelligence level of, let's say this is just the United States. I know he said everybody on Earth, but let's just say, just for the United States' sake, it's like the average intelligence level of the United States, you know, one of the most prominent countries, if, you know, we're at a 6th grade level. And that right there goes to tell you that a lot of people don't really have reading comprehension, and they don't understand that, like, oh shit, you know, we need to get everybody to press this blue button. We need to get everybody. They would look at it like, oh, cool, red, you know, because they look at it just like, all right, if I press this button, cool, I survive no matter what. It doesn't matter. I'm safe. You know what I mean? Like, that's all they would take out of that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think they would use the proper, like reading comprehension to understand it. And that's the only reason why I would press the red button. And look, I get it. Because when I first read it, I was a blue button person, definitely. Because I'm like, dude, I would think 50%, more than 50% of the entire world would understand that, hey, if everybody pushes the blue button, everybody survives. We're chilling. We're good.
Yeah.
We're straight. But I just don't think people have enough cognizant in their stuff to just be like, wait a minute, Like if everybody just collectively decides push the blue button, we're good, we're chilling, everybody survives. I just don't think they would do it.
Yeah.
And then that would go back into like the scenario that we first, like you said, the self-preservation.
Yeah.
That would kick into me,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, damn, that's already 300 million people that I at least. Say we even cut it down the middle. That's 150 million people that I don't know if they're gonna fucking push the blue button. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel it would be a gamble with the blue button only because of people's incompetence nowadays. Obviously, we all know it. Like the government's trying to make us stupider, and not a lot of people really are, as smart as they should be and stuff like that. So that's just kind of where I'm coming from. But I mean, when you take the whole world into account, you do have, what is it, like something like a bunch of people in China. I don't know. There's millions of fucking people in China, and I'm sure they're all smart. There's millions of people in Japan. I'm sure they're all smart. But then you got the, you got the, hold on, god damn it. You got the, you know what I mean? I don't know their cognizant level. And then you got the Habibis, they're like, oh my god, I don't know what's going on, Habibi, help me out, so it's like, are they smart enough to know what's up? I wouldn't put my hopes in the UK. I ain't gonna lie, the UK is kind of cooked. Them niggas are dumb as fuck.
They definitely don't like people anyways. Too.
That's
another
yeah,
thing.
they would. Oh, the UK motherfuckers would just be like, red button all day.
Red, yeah.
I
hope I get to watch someone that pressed blue die.
100%, yeah.
And shit like that, yeah.
And so, and then you got African people. I don't know their mindset either. Canadians, I already know Canadians are just be like, oh, I hope the Americans die. Fuck that shit. You know what I mean? Like, bro, that's what I'm saying. I'm like trying to think about it. Like, okay, everybody in the world, I don't know.
And so it's, this may fucking happen, right? Mr. Beast may have been the test run, and the government might have been like, you know what? Fuck, they're a little bit too united. We need to stir up some more shit. Yeah. Because as you can see on the screen, 56 people did press the blue button. So in that scenario, we would have lived, right?
100%.
And that's why for me, it's like I couldn't be the person where it's like, all right, all it takes is one more person. Everyone would have survived. If I hit the red button, that means, like you're saying, 149,999,999 people died because or 150 million, because that would be 50-50, right? So 150 million people died because I hit the red button when I could have hit the blue like I wanted to, but I was just too scared and I chose myself, you know what I mean? So for me it's just like I myself would want to be part of those people that understand the question and hopefully have a little bit more faith in the human race and trying to be the difference versus actively like, because you can't say as a person that's pressing red, you're like, everyone will press red. You know that's not true. You know it's impossible for every human, even in the U.S., to press red.
Oh, 100%.
You know that the idea in your head, the idea in your head should be, if I press this red button, I'm killing someone. And that should push you to pressing the blue, right? But I know that's not how people think, and I'm a little bit more realistic. I would press blue, but I do have a feeling that if it were really lives on the line, more people would probably press red. I'd be dead. But that's fine. You know what I mean? It's not like I wasn't going to die anyways. Yeah. And, who's to say that, I press red, I go survive, I walk outside and don't die the same day. You know what I mean? So it's not up to me when I die. Even pressing that blue button, I know it's really not up to me when I die. So it's it really makes no difference to me, right? Yeah. My actions are my own because I believe in what I do. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting. I was just like, oh man, that is a crazy social experiment to put out there. But yeah. All right, so you guys let us know what you think about everything that we've gone over, all the videos and all that stuff, as well as this 50% red button, blue button kind of thing.
Did I send you that one on Instagram?
I didn't get anything from you. I don't think. Instagram.
Yeah, this that one. Yeah, that one. I wanted to show that one really super quickly.
Okay, we can do this one really quick.
We'll show this one really quick.
All right. Did you want to give context, or do you want to just go right?
It's kind of self-explanatory, but just for sake of time, I wanted to, I wanted to show that because with the same idea of that lady in the beginning, I was like, I just wanted to see what men could do. I guarantee that man that's walking with the pimp suit on, don't got his pimp shoddy on him, but you know, that pimp suit on, he didn't go out and like, oh, a woman will never clean in front of me as I walk on a dirty ass street. I'll never get a woman to. No, he was like, I already know this shit gonna fucking work. And he recorded a video doing it. And of course, there's gonna be dumbasses in the comments like, oh, it's staged, yada, yada, yada. You're witnessing it in real time. Am I wrong? Is a woman not cleaning this man's walking path, right? She didn't just fucking like, oh, I do it for the video. She was like, wait, he stopped. I'm gonna stop. Okay, he's moving on. And she started cleaning the ground. You know what I mean? If this does not speak to you in the idea that you should have a little bit more self-confidence because this man pulled off some shit like this, you got some more internal work to do, my guy. If you don't think you can pull some shit off like this, you got some more internal work to really start working on, start getting at. Because
it's like we said in the beginning of the
if you're
episode,
that guy,
who the fuck says you can't?
Exactly. If you're that guy, you pull it off.
Yeah.
It writes itself. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's like you said, you know, a lot of people will say, I can't, it's not real, yada, yada, yada. We have recorded evidence of it being real. And I guarantee you, he didn't just like, this didn't accidentally happen. It was probably her idea, if anything. And if it wasn't, he still pitched it and she was like, yes, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And it would be one thing if she was like, I mean, she's probably used up whatever, yada, yada. Right, but he still got it to work. He still got it to, you know what I mean? I don't think she's the most high value woman, but he still found someone that'll do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, they have their own relationship that they fucking have for each other, you know? And it's like, I just really want to stress that idea of like, brother, you know, men out there, you're out here begging for the time of day from someone. This guy's got some fucking broad in the middle of probably Vegas or wherever the fuck, cleaning the dirtiest street as he walks, and you're sitting at home begging for some fucking nobody in their Instagram DMs talking about, please let me take you out, I want to spend money on you, whatever.
Yeah.
You guys, you got some internal work to really be doing, brother. That's all I gotta say.
Like we said in the beginning of the episode, like nobody is stopping you from doing anything but yourself.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, again, like I said, there's so many people that are in the social media space. They're like, oh, I can't do it. Oh, how do you stay consistent? Oh, you know, this doesn't work. And it's just like, nah, bro, that's you. That's your mindset. Like, I'm able to stay consistent and keep doing it because I say I can. You know, like you're the one telling yourself no. That's on you, man. But yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. All right, let us know what you think about that one in the comments, as well as everything we've gone over today. We're gonna hop through announcements and then get right into our scenarios. Go ahead and hand me my phone. Patreon.com/Am I the Asshole Podcast. Get that exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and the Sunday show like these lovely people did for today. All the other listeners, thank you guys so much for all of the support. You guys have been showing out, coming out, and hanging out, and downloading the episodes, and I do appreciate that so very much. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Keep downloading the episodes, as well as rating us 5 stars on your preferred platform. If you want to help out even more, go ahead and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube. All of that is free, and it helps out tremendously. All the links are down in the description. If you want to get more of our boy over here, definitely follow him on his TikTok and his Instagram at MikeLife333. It is on the screen and all that. So yeah.
Yeah, and I know you guys have been hitting me up because I've kind of slowed down on the content. The reason for that is I'm really prioritizing sharpening my skills on the sales side to really lock in what I'm doing and start making more of the money that I see for myself. And so I see your guys' DMs. It's not a problem. I'm not going anywhere. I haven't disappeared off the face of the earth. I try to respond when I can. But, you know what I mean, I'm just prioritizing, not necessarily showing my journey that much anymore. I'll still post content, but I'm focusing on really sharpening my skills behind the scenes so that way I can actually provide here in real life. So 100%. I see your guys' DMs. Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. I haven't gone anywhere. But, like you said, if you want more of me, I do still try to respond to DMs when I can. So no worries there.
All right, guys. Let's get on into the scenarios. Okay. We have our first one. My partner was arrested this morning for cheating on me with a minor.
Excellent.
What did he say?
Wow. Okay. So, 100%. Definitely low honor. Okay, I am a 19 female, and they are a 19 male.
Okay.
And we have been together for 7 years. This morning, I heard a knock on the door and answered to see police here to arrest my partner. At the time, they didn't tell me why. After some time, I found out why they were arresting them, because of them doing something online with a minor. I don't know exactly what. I was told they will be going to court tomorrow and that the police will most likely not contact me to tell me what happens. Ever since I found out, I just don't know what to do. I haven't felt anything truly in hours. I can't sleep, can't eat, can't even cry. I just feel nothing. I have tried to take my mind off it, but nothing has worked. And I know I can't pretend forever, but I have no one else to talk to, and I really mean no family and no friends. I am not even sure what will happen with them tomorrow, and I know it is stupid, but I am still worried about them. I am currently sitting by the train tracks just doing nothing. I feel like my whole life is ruined. I only had them and now possibly no one.
Okay.
So they're asking advice. What should I do?
It's the one writing in is a female, right?
Yes. The girl's writing about her. They're both 19. Girl's writing about her boyfriend. I think what it was is she got into this relationship. Her family may have disowned her for this.
Yeah.
And then he was probably like, oh, I don't even want you having friends and this and that. So she distanced herself from family and friends to be with him, and then finds out homie's getting arrested for talking to minors.
Yeah. And so, hopefully it was just talking to minors. However, if it was anything more,
I mean, it was enough to get arrested.
Yeah, he's probably dead. Is the problem? Not problem. Is the result, right? It's not very easy for child-related offenders to go into jail and survive. So he's probably dead. I wouldn't really worry about that too much because you have no real, once you find that out, he probably looked at you and was like, yeah, she's got young features. I'm going to rock with that for right now. And then he found someone with younger features and was like, you know what, that's more my style, So it's actually great that you don't have this partner anymore. He sucks. He's weird. He's going to get what he deserves. And then from there, I get you're feeling alone right now, and we've talked about this on the podcast before. Women cannot really handle being alone. So, at the end of the day, you got more time to, focus on yourself. Just pick a random, throw a dart at a dartboard, pick a random hobby, go do that, You'll find other women that'll support you. You know what I mean?
Oh, 1,000. There's a lot of support groups and all that. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I would definitely start with something like that.
Yeah.
We start with a support group. Find a nice support group, somebody with like-minded women, women that are willing to help you out. They see you're going through this because, that's tough to not have family, to not have friends because you decided to choose this dude. Yeah. And it's just that really sucks. But again, I hope that you learn from it, 1, and 2, you're able to kind of just find a group of people that are willing to help you, willing to be there for you. So, yeah, dude, damn.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there probably weren't signs because typically people like that probably try to hide it really, really well.
Oh, yeah, because, he hid it really well. She didn't find out until the cops were at the door.
Yeah.
You know? I wonder who called the cops on him.
That's how a lot of those, the videos that I see online end up going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the parents, if the dude lives with parents or whatever the case may be, they're like, what the fuck is happening? It's like, well, we found this. I know you weren't aware, but this has been happening.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And then they get all this sprung on them. So it's it's very clear that even the people closest to them don't know what really goes on behind the scenes. And so, I mean, yeah, the advice is simple. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have friends right now, but you're 19, you know, and there's 7 billion people in the world. Minus 1 because he's probably gonna get taken off this earth. But like, there's so many other, you know, there's gonna be women out there that'll support you. You know, you'll find another dude that's not that, you know, that's not trash like that, and then from there you'll have a pretty good life. You know, I know right now it's hard to see the future because you're feeling what you're feeling right now. 100%,
you know, 100%.
But by no means is your life over. You're good.
Yeah, 1,000. I think she's just kind of in that whole, like, you know how when you're in high school, like any little thing happens to you and you kind of just blow it out of proportion. It's crazy, this and that. You know, like, I get it. It's horrible now, but girl, you have a lot of life. Think about it. When you're 22 years old, okay? And 22 years is not that far away. That's what, 3-4 years from now? You're going to be 22 years old, and you're going to look back at your 19-year-old self, and you're going to be like, damn, I really overreacted with that. Like, I am so much further now. I have a job. I have my own this. I am doing this. I got this going on. I got this group of friends who are supportive, all that. You know, just don't get you some jealous single friends that will take you out of a good relationship. Just don't do that. You know, we talked about that. Oh, man. All right, but you guys let us know what you think about that one in the comments, though. All right, let's get on to our next one. This one is, who stood up who? So I, 32 male, matched with this lady, 37 female, and we had planned a date. I asked if she was free one afternoon, and she goes, yeah, between 1 to 2 p.m. I say, great, 1 works for me. She goes, ha ha ha, perfect. Day after the first date, I texted her that morning, are we still on? Or day of the date, I'm sorry. Day of the first date, I texted her that morning, are we still on? She replies, yes. Okay, cool, boom. I say, great, I'll let you know when I am out of church, and I may get to that spot early, around 12. I text her saying I'm out of church and I'm on my way. She's texting back saying she's about to head there too. And things seem good. I get to the place a few minutes early before 1, expecting her to show up at 1. She's still texting me, and that's fine. It's 1:15, 1:20, so on. I'm like, all right, where's this lady at? So I was like, what's your ETA? She goes, 15 minutes. Maybe poor judgment on my part, but I had almost zero interest in her at this point. At any point, she could say, hey, I'm going to be late. I closed out my tab. I texted her saying, hey, I'm sorry. I thought we were meeting at 1. Then I leave. Like to me, she missed the date. I go somewhere else and enjoy my lunch. She texts me at 1:45 saying, you left? Assuming yes, sorry for being late. I misunderstood the message and didn't start leaving until you said you were out of church. I replied, yeah, I left. Maybe we miscommunicated, but I was under the impression that we were meeting at 1. So who stood up who?
I think you did exactly what you were supposed to.
Oh, 1,000.
She fucked with your time.
Yeah, I think she stood you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000%.
She fucked with your time. You didn't tolerate it, and that's exactly perfect.
Yeah.
Because 100%, it's part of setting the tone for the relationship.
Yeah.
You know, she is like, oh, I'm so sorry. That's just bullshit, by the way. She just throws like a bunch of bullshit when they're like, I'm so sorry, I'm late, whatever, yada, 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 right? The idea is she was like, I don't take this man serious. I don't take his time serious. I don't really take anyone's time serious. We agreed at 1 o'clock we would meet up. She said that's perfect, meaning she will be on time. Then you tell her, hey, I'm going to get out of church and actually be there a little bit early. So if you're not doing anything, let's just get there earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you get there at 1, that's cool.
That's cool, right? And so from there, she's like, sounds great. You know what I mean? Well, I'll see you there. still texting for some reason. And then you're like, all right, well, what the fuck is taking you so long? She's like, I'll be there in like 15 minutes, dude. 45 minutes late to the date, right? Me personally, I only give anyone 15 minutes as a grace period. You know what I mean?
1,000, yeah.
Unless there's prior communication of like, hey, dude, I got fucking X, Y, and Z happened. I cannot get there until X, Y, and Z time.
Exactly.
Then it's like, all right. Then from there, you can either determine whether you feel like it's worth it or not and move from there. I wouldn't immediately just say, yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean? But the idea is still there, right? She tells you like, hey, I'm 15 minutes out. You're like, all right, this chick don't respect my time. I respect my time more. I'm going to go have lunch with my favorite person, myself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And head out, right? And that's exactly how you should be, because guaranteed, you tolerate it now. Every time after that, she's going to be like, well, on our first date, you fucking stayed 45 minutes. You don't love me anymore. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
All that bullshit.
Oh, you knew this when you were coming into the relationship.
Yep. Yes.
Bruh.
Yeah. So,
Bruh.
perfect execution. She stood you up. Really doesn't matter. She did you a favor.
Yeah.
Find someone else that doesn't suck at timeliness.
Yeah, because I think she was doing exactly what that girl in the video was doing, where she was just like, let me see what I can fucking get away with.
Yeah.
Men will do anything. You know what I mean? She was just like, I guarantee you she's done this before, and guys have still dated her, and they've still done that. And it's just like, sometimes I think he's the only guy that I've, done a scenario with who's fucking put their foot down.
Yeah.
Like, this is the example of putting my foot down to a woman and being like, I will not tolerate that. I will not tolerate this type of behavior. No, thank you.
Because a woman that doesn't have to act right won't.
100%.
And so that's exactly where this, like you said, that's where this behavior comes from.
Yep.
She's never had to act right before,
Yep.
so she doesn't.
Yep.
And then you put that foot down, and hopefully with enough men that put their foot down, she'll be like, damn, dude, I better make sure I'm on time, or else I'm not going to be fucking seeing any of these dudes that I'm matching with or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, these dudes aren't going to wait around anymore. I got to get on top of my shit.
Yeah, I got to get on my fucking P's and Q's. Like,
Yep.
I'm the one in the wrong here. 100%, man.
Yep.
Yeah, she stood you up, dude. You put your foot down, didn't accept it. I don't think you need any advice. Whoever is telling you that you stood her up, crazy.
Yeah.
Don't listen to them.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild that anybody would think that you stood her up. Bro, I was there. I got there early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? I communicated that I got there early.
Yeah.
I was communicating with you that I was there. I'm like, bro, how did I stand you up? That's crazy to me. Yeah, don't listen to anybody. All right, let's get into our last scenario for today's episode, man. All right, this one is, am I wrong for not showing my girlfriend my phone? Okay. Hi, I am a 21 male, and my girlfriend is a 21 female. We've been together for about a year, and things have been going really well. Good communication, mutual respect, yada, yada. But something happened last Thursday that's thrown me off a bit. We were at her cousin's house, 28 female, and I saw her cousin going through her husband's phone. When my girlfriend asked why, her cousin said it was something they both agreed on. They'd regularly check each other's phones. Since then, my girlfriend has been asking to go through my phone. I told her no. And now she's convinced I'm hiding something. She even talked to her cousin about it, and her cousin told her that I am most likely hiding something if I won't let her see my phone. I honestly can't believe I am being accused of hiding something simply because I want my privacy. It feels like something has shifted in our relationship. We've spent the whole week together since then, and something feels off. It's like she can't trust me anymore. I just value my privacy, and I don't think that means I am being shady. So am I wrong?
No. Short and sweet.
No, because, and I've said this forever on the podcast, bro. If you have to micromanage your partner, do you really trust them? That's my thing, bro. Look, it's one thing to kind of notice things about your partner and you're kind of like, these things are off. Like, what is going on? This, and that. Like, then, okay, I can understand the suspicion, because you would come to me and be like, well, these things are off, and, this has been feeling this way, and blah, blah, blah. And I would just be like, okay, well, I mean, let me just reassure you on that. here's my phone, whatever. I ain't got shit to hide. But if you just want to do it just to do it, it's like, okay, bro, why do you feel you need to all of a sudden micromanage the relationship? Now I feel you just don't have trust in me anymore. And it's like, never mind. That's why this saying, if we don't have trust, we don't have a relationship, exists.
Yeah.
Because you have that trust in me of like, hey, if I've given you no reason to believe that I'm doing something shady on my phone, you have no reason to sit here and micromanage me.
Yeah.
You just don't.
And so the only option here now is just break up with her, right?
As harsh as it sounds, yeah.
If you truly have, so I don't believe you have anything that would cause your relationship to end on your phone. But if you have stuff that you don't mind sharing with her, right? Like, because I know I don't want you to break the idea of respecting your own privacy for a woman. But if you're okay with it, right? I would just say, like, all right, you show her your phone, show her that she was wrong to mistrust you, and be like, because you listened to your cousin, you're getting these consequences, right? Either way, though, if you're like, yeah, I don't want to show her, still break up with her, because the idea that she got from her cousin is the consequences she's getting, and she deserves. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The only thing that I am getting at behind showing her your phone is she might learn later on, like, all right, it didn't matter that I didn't trust him. He wasn't hiding anything, and I look stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, right, she'll never have that confirmation, so I don't know if she'll fully put the pieces together. You know what I mean? But the reason I would say err on the side more of not moving your boundary, and that will usually be the better bet, or it always is the better bet. However, what I'm getting at is she could interpret anything and still say she doesn't trust you. Where it's like, oh, you prepped your phone, you deleted what it would have been, or who's fucking this person from years ago? Like, do you still talk to him? Do you still like her? Yada yada yada. Like, at this point, she could be making anything up to herself and having that be the validation that she needed to, like, I was right for that justification of like, I was right. I shouldn't have trusted him.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, all right, it really more than likely will result in more bullshit if she does go through your phone, because she's already trying to get that confirmation biased.
Yeah.
The benefit of the doubt that I was giving her is she may realize, like, oh, I had no reason not to trust him. You know what I mean? And then from there, regardless of the fact, at this point, it should be, let's break up, because she didn't respect what you were saying, and she was letting her cousin fill her dumbass brain with ideas that aren't relevant to your situation. And that's, I think, a problem with a lot of women, is they let their dumbass friends, dumbass family get in their head and start fucking up what they have. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day,
perfect example of what I was talking about with the whole nice girls finish last thing is that they will get a good dude and they will have their friends, their family, whatever, talk them in, or pretty much talk them out of a good relationship for themselves. And then again, it goes to, like, she's going to go through this dude's phone. She's going to misinterpret a bunch of shit because she has confirmation bias, like he was saying. Yeah. And then she's going to break up with homie. And then she gets with the next dude, and the next dude does her worse. Yeah. And she's just like, oh, what the fuck? Oh, I can't never find a good guy, this and that. And it's like, no. You had a great guy. Yeah. He was fantastic, and he wasn't cheating on you. You just thought he was cheating on you because you had this confirmation bias. You sat there and wanted to go through his phone. You didn't trust him. You chose to act stupid like that. Like, so he only got you to blame
at this point. And the root of why you should break up with her is because she allowed the doubt that was so unnecessary of mistrusting you into her mind, and it drove a wedge between you. Yeah. And that's not someone you need to be in a relationship with. Because if they're that easily swayed, not by your actions or their confidence in themselves, but by another human, aka her cousin, it's only a matter of time before her cousin's puppeting the fuck out of her, doing everything for her in the relationship, controlling all of her actions between you guys in the relationship. So 100%. It's like, you got to just break up with her because she's not mentally there enough yet to be in a relationship. So
yeah,
that's why I'm like, if you want to, show her your phone, show her that she's wrong, and then break up with her. But if you don't feel like it, there's absolutely the better route is just sticking with your boundary and still breaking up with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the best way to go.
Yeah.
Sorry to say it, man. It's just the best way to go.
Yeah.
But that's going to go ahead and be today's episode, man. We love and appreciate you guys so very much. We really, really do. All the support is amazing. You guys keep coming out and showing out. So that's why we're here, baby. It's what we do. So I will see you guys, or we'll see you guys next Sunday.
Yes.
I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Definitely get down in the description, MikeLife333 on TikTok and Instagram. Get in touch with your boy over here. And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube. All of that is helpful, man. We love you guys. We appreciate you. We'll see you. Anything you want to have to close out?
Yeah, I'm going to try to be, I know we just did our first live stream of the episodes that we do. I'll try to be here as well just to be.
That was last week, yeah.
Yeah, like last week, right? I'm going to try to be here so that way I can also participate in some form or fashion in the chat, whether I'm in the chat or I'm going to actually be here so that way I can be at the home office while it's happening. So, yeah, just look for me in the comments. We'll both be. As this starts becoming more regular, it seemed like you guys really, really liked it. So
yeah,
as this becomes more and more regular, we'll be in the comments. You can ask questions, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So
all right. So we love you guys. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you on next Sunday, and then I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Peace.